In his debut with the Alouettes last week, he had only 3 days to get ready. Kevin Glenn should be better prepared tonight as he leads Montreal into a critical game against the Argonauts at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. That's where Toronto played last week, and their offense was stagnant, led by Trevor Harris, coming off that loss in Hamilton to the Calgary Stampeders. Harris throwing 3 interceptions in that game to fall to 9-6. So big one for Toronto as well, as we say hello and welcome you to Week 18 of the Canadian Football League. Just 3 weeks to go in the regular season. Still lots to play for. Friday Night Football doubleheader. I'm Rod Smith, along with the panel of Mike Benavides joining us again. Jock Climie is back as well, and Chris Schultz too. So first up, it is the Owls and the Argos. Later on, it'll be Hamilton fighting with Toronto for first in the East against BC, fighting with the Alouettes and Winnipeg for the final playoff spot in the league. Well, let's begin with the quarterback situation, Jock, for the Argos. Ricky Ray waiting in the wings on the sidelines, and yet, despite his struggles, Trevor Harris will get the start again tonight. Is that the right move?
Well, I feel a little bit like Ricky Ray. I mean, Mike Benavides knocked me out of my chair, and that's what's happened to poor Ricky Ray. I mean, Trevor Harris, Johnny come lately, knocks him out. But you know what? What I saw last week from Trevor Harris was a very different quarterback than we've seen all year. You could understand why they stayed with Harris despite the fact that Ray's back until last week. I would say short leash. Coach, that's what I would do. If I'm the head coach for the Argos, I'm saying go out there for a quarter. If you're playing okay, I'll keep you in. If you're not, boom, I'm getting Ricky Ray and rolling him out there because it's time for him to earn that big, fat paycheck he's earning.
Well, you're exactly right, Jock. And the way I see it right now, last week was a big telling game for me. I saw in the second half where, you really saw a situation where there wasn't a lot of confidence. Mr. Harris was missing all the throws. You see a guy like Chad Owens get angry. So for me right now, it's Ricky Ray. It's Ricky Ray's time to go in there. You've got to get some momentum before the playoffs. He's the most veteran guy. He's a winner, and he's a guy that's been now on the roster for a month. So if he's a number 2 guy right now, he's good enough to play. So if that's the case, I would want to see Ricky Ray.
Well, I think at this point of the season, it is about bursts of failure or bursts of success. And if you put Ray in there, he'll be ready to go. He is a precision passer. He is a record holder. He can get the job done. But it's the field decision from Scott Milanovich as a head coach. Is this the right time to make this move? Listen, I'm all or nothing guy. I'm throwing all my chips in to get to the Grey Cup. Ray should play.
This is the 4th game for the Argos away from the Rogers Centre, 4th home game. Their 4th at Tim Hortons Field. They've only had 3 games at the Rogers Centre, such as the way life is for the Argos in 2015. Joyce Gardam of Calgary, you could win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kickoff is returned for a touchdown in this game, thanks to Safeway's Touchdown to Win promotion. And if a second kickoff is returned all the way for a TD in this game, you can also win $1 million for that, Joyce. Good luck. Toronto Argonauts at home in Hamilton again to take on the Montreal Alouettes. Gordon Miller, Matt Dunnigan standing by Tim Hortons Field with the call. Kickoff coming up.
Week 18 of the CFL season begins in Hamilton with the Montreal Alouettes visiting the Toronto Argonauts, who have once again been displaced. Alouettes with slim playoff hopes. The Argonauts hoping still to catch first place in the East Division.
And his first year starting, that young man, Trevor Harris, has led his football team to a 9-6 mark. Absolutely phenomenal based on the number of games they've played away from home. This kid has earned the opportunity to come out here and prove he's the guy for the future. Right there, Kevin Glenn, we know all about him. He's a journeyman. He's a hired gun. Didn't get done last week, but with another 2 days of work with his new teammates, he should be much better this time around.
Jim Popp is 3-5 as the interim coach of the Alouettes. 2-5, rather, took over when they were 3-5 on the year. Their only hope to make the playoffs, to cross over into the West Division, something no Eastern team has ever done. And Scott Milanovich, if his team can run the table, the Argonauts can still finish first in the East. They've got 3 home games remaining. The question is, how many of them will they play actually at home? Stefan Logan back to receive the kick from Jake Rogers, who makes his Canadian Football League debut tonight. Native of Warshaw, Indiana. Out of the University of Cincinnati, kicks it up into the wind and hangs up. Stefan Logan takes it at the 20-yard line. And Logan out to the 38. brought down to the play by the middle linebacker for Toronto, Greg Jones. And so the Montreal Alouette offense goes to work behind Kevin Glenn, who made his Alouette debut last week.
Yeah, it's understandable. 3 days rest. You heard Rod Smith talk about it off the top of the show. He didn't perform at his best. Kevin Glenn is surrounded by veterans in Nick Lewis and S.J. Green. He worked with Nick Lewis for 2 years in Calgary. He understands his nuances and subtleties and how he runs routes. And S.J. Green, they've worked on it this week, and they feel like they're on the same page now.
First down for the Alouettes. Terrell Sutton with the carry. And Sutton brought down quickly on the play by Ricky Foley.
Yeah,
the gain of the play.
And Gord, Euclid Cummins, I put him up there because I think he's underrated. I think he's one of the unsung heroes of that front line for the Toronto Argonauts. And I put Hawkins and Smith up there because they're going to be tested by some big bodies in S.J. Green and Nick Lewis all night long.
Gain was 6 on the play, 2nd and 4 for the Alouettes. Last week, Kevin Glenn became the first quarterback in CFL history to start 2 consecutive games for 2 different teams against the same team. Played back-to-back against Hamilton. Now on 2nd down, throws to S.J. Green, and Green's got a first down and more as he crosses the 50-yard line out to the 51. And so Green, who was at times a forgotten man in the Montreal offense this year, has the first down.
Yeah, well, last week they really struggled on 2nd and long. They put themselves in 2nd in a manageable situation here, so high percentage throw to S.J. Green. Everybody does their job, and they pick up a first down.
They were 2nd and 7 or more 15 times last week in that loss to Hamilton.
Only converted on 3 of those, and that's not good enough if you're planning on trying to make a playoff run.
First down from the Alouette 51. Glenn throws. Green's got it again. And close to another first down in the Argo territory at the 49-yard line, a gain of 11.
And Gord, that's the way you eliminate those stats that you just spit out there about 2nd and long situations. You'd be good on 1st and 10. I mean, that's just a quick slant. A.J. Jefferson giving S.J. Green that, and he'll take it all day long.
In their last 6 games, the Alouettes have just 6 points total in the first quarter. Swing out again, this time complete to B.J. Cunningham, and Cunningham fights his way for another first down to the Toronto 37-yard line. Another gain of 11.
Yeah, this is zone coverage, and right now Montreal's got their number right now. You get people out in front, you got blockers, you just make people miss in space, and again, you move the chains.
B.J. Cunningham, first-year man out of Michigan State. And Glenn once again back in the shotgun. Lots of time. Glenn looking up the field. It is almost intercepted. Leaping to try to grab that was Toronto's Travis Hawkins. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, Glenn's going to move the pocket here. I like that, not letting Toronto get a bead on him. He's going to go right to left, and nothing. There's absolutely nobody open. He's got to flip his hips, and Hawkins underneath. And intended receiver Stamps. Hawkins had a better chance of catching that than Fred Stamps did.
Toronto's only allowed 2 touchdowns by the opposition on their opening possession. Glenn fires again, complete to Green, first down to the Toronto 20-yard line. A dart from Kevin Glenn.
Oh, and that is pretty. And that ball is thrown with timing, and S.J. just like, feed me. He just reached back and just sucked this ball in. Watch this ice on S.J. He's going to run up here, zone coverage, nobody's covering, sit in the hole, move the chains.
Green with 35 yards receiving already on this drive, closing in on 1,000 yards for the season. 5 CFL receivers have cracked the 1,000-yard mark already.
And be a sport if you can get there tonight.
First down for the 20-yard line. Glenn throws again. This time it's caught by Brandon Rutley. And Rutley is inside the 10-yard line, down to the 6. Another Montreal first down, a gain of 13.
Yeah, just nothing but zone coverage is what I'm seeing here from Toronto down the football field. And Kevin Glenn has been, he's been the recipient of an easy first drive here, just pitching and catching with the receivers and making it look like he's been with this team all season long.
8th play of the drive. First and goal from the 6. Glenn throws, Sutton makes the catch. Terrell Sutton fights his way, touchdown. And just like that, the Alouettes drive the ball down the field. and scored opening drive touchdown to take the lead.
Yeah, and the premise here, Gord, is simple. It's zone coverage. With zone coverage, you attack your area in front of you, and you sit in holes, or you throw the ball underneath. It's exactly what they do here. They watch. He's right here. He's going to just go right in the flat here, and you're going to have 3 men up in front of him, blocking. Bang. Go, just find a soft spot, duck your shoulder, dip it, and rip, and making that look easy. Throw underneath, or you hit the zones or hit the holes in zone coverage, and Kevin Glenn made that look relatively routine.
Morris Beatty took the point after up and through, and the Montreal Alouettes scored more points on that drive than they had in their previous 6 opening quarters combined. 7-0 the Alouettes lead on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt. It's back, but only at Wendy's. Now that's better. 8-play drive for the Alouettes. Glenn goes 6 for 7, throws the touchdown pass to Terrell Sutton, his 5th touchdown of the year. And the Alouettes have grabbed the lead here in the opening quarter.
That's his first touchdown receiving. And I tell you, that was just pitch and catch like practice for Kevin Glenn. No resistance from the Toronto defense whatsoever.
Chad Owens back to take the kickoff inside his 5-yard line. Owens crosses the 20, has some blocks, a flag comes down. And Owens forced out of bounds at the 38-yard line, a return of 34, but likely giving a good deal of it back. Andre Pro is tonight's referee and indicates it is against Toronto.
Yeah, this is like Thomas Miles.
Illegal return, illegal block. Toronto number 25, 10-yard penalty, first down.
They call Isaiah Green on the illegal block, and so the Argonauts are now scrimmaging inside their 15-yard line down to the 12.
Yeah, left edge of your screen. He's going to cut right there. There's the block, and then Miles is out front. He's good to go. No hold on his part. That's a proper call. Backs up Toronto deep in their own end.
Trevor Harris at the controls. And the first down carry goes to Brandon Whitaker. And Whitaker gets a couple on the play.
Yeah, you know, he'd like to have a repeat performance a couple weeks ago where he rushed for 99 yards. Trevor Harris, he wants to forget all about last week and move on. His 32 touchdowns are best in the league, and he's surrounded by Brandon Whitaker, two-way we call him, because he can get it done through the air and on the ground. And Jeff Keeping, he's the glue in that middle there. His right guard and right tackle are basically rookies making the first starts tonight.
Second and long, flags are down. Harris under pressure, and he is sacked. Brought down by John Bowman, who's got his 12th sack of the year.
Yeah, John Bowman, just phenomenal. That's 11 sacks in 12 games coming into this one. He's got his 12th now, and
pending the flag.
Offside. Montreal number 41, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, that's going to be erased off the board, but I think Trevor Harris did the right thing there, knowing that he had Montreal offside aided. Yeah, he's right there. So Winston Venable going to be called right here. One of my favorite linebackers in the league, having a heck of a season.
Now second and short for Toronto. Comes the rush again. Harris throws to the wide side. The catch made by Vidal Hazelton. Out of bounds he goes at the 22-yard line. It'll be very close to an Argo first down. It's a long throw to pick up a couple.
Yeah, 2nd and 3, and you run a 2-yard out. I know Montreal's aggressive there, playing up close and trying to bring pressure on the quarterback, not letting him get rhythm early, backed up. And
so Milanovic, who went for it on 3rd and 3 from the 25-yard line last week, decides not to go for it on 3rd and half a yard.
Everything's playing out smoothly here for the Alouettes on the road where they're 2-0 here at Tim Hortons this year.
And Rogers, good kick into the wind. It hangs up for Logan at his 45-yard line. Flag is down. Logan has a convoy in front of him. And Logan still going inside the 20. And finally corralled there by Alex Alexander Dupuis. But there's a flag on the Montreal side of midfield, and Logan may see this one go back. Alouettes with the lead 7-0. We're back with more from Toronto's home game in Hamilton on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Charette, first-year player from the University of Guelph. Local kid, St. Catharines, Ontario. Gets called for hanging on a little bit too long right in the middle of your picture here. Right there. At the point of attack. Easy call for the official.
So instead of scrimmage, get the Toronto 5. The Alouettes begin their 35. And Sutton fights his way out for a gain of 5 to the 40-yard line.
Well, Terrell Sutton, that's about his season average right there, about 5.5, 6 yards. He's proven to be a very durable back.
Third in rushing in the Canadian Football League this year, comes in with just shy of 750 yards. The Alouettes have not run the ball effectively this year, Matt, but they've been behind in so many games they haven't been able to.
Yeah, playing with as many quarterbacks as they've had underneath center can disrupt any offense.
Glenn throws. Nick Lewis the catch and a first down up to the 47-yard line. Kevin Glenn, the 7th quarterback to throw a pass for Montreal this season. 4th different starter they've had.
Yeah, just more zone coverage. You see Nick just crossing in front of people's face, finding a soft spot, moving the chains. Once again, it's like practice. Kevin Glenn getting no resistance.
Now the pick to Sutton, swing it out to F.J. Green. He's got a fine boy in front of him, but he gets tripped up by Devin Smith. A good tackle by Smith to limit the gain to 5.
Yeah, it really was. First-year player from Wisconsin. Just a shoestring on SJ out in the flat with people out front. A nice block there, and then there's a shoestring right there by Devin Smith. Otherwise, SJ's still running.
So 2nd and 5 now for the Alouettes from their 52. Glenn under pressure throws. A flag comes down. The pass is caught by B.J. Cunningham. It's good for a Montreal first down pending the penalty, which is in the Alouettes offensive backfield. Montreal has been flagged at least 10 times in every game this year.
Montreal number 59, 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Josh Bork, the left tackle, called this time. So penalties have been a problem, Matt, for the Alouettes all season.
Yeah, this is going to happen. You know, you got the one-on-one situations off the edge, and here he is right here. Josh Berg has been a mainstay in that offensive line, and he just kind of gets out of his cylinder there, starts leaning, and he's got no choice but to hang on, and he draws the holding call.
2nd down. Glenn throws underneath. The pass is caught. Off and running is Fred Stamps, flushed out of bounds. At the 51-yard line, he'll be short. The Montreal first down, a gain of 9.
Yeah, this is 2nd down. You know, Fred's going to be here. He's going to cross right across the football field. And 2nd and long situation, Toronto just plays passively and comes up and makes a tackle and gets the first stop of the night.
Morris beating the punt. Low tumbling kick in front of A.J. Jefferson inside his 20-yard line. Jefferson gathers himself back up, crosses the 30. Beatty had a hold of him for a moment and finally gets brought down by Darrell Townsend. A 22-yard return for A.J. Jefferson gives the Toronto Argonauts some decent field position as Trevor Harris in Toronto trying to track down first place in the East Division. been a long and winding home season for the Toronto Argonauts this year. Is Matthew Chinetti with more.
Absolutely, Gord. You know, after everything the Argos have dealt with as being really a franchise without a home at this point, Scott Milanovich has tried something different this week, a bit of a thought experiment. He told his players the atmosphere at Tim Hortons Field on Friday may not be what you expect, so it might be up to you, for you to generate the energy in pregame. Cleon Lang was jumping around, shoving all his teammates, going, guys, I need your energy, we need your energy. And then funny enough, after the Argos came off of that Montreal touchdown drive, defensive coaches were telling the players to actually calm down. Guys?
Harris looking for Hazelton over the top. That pass falls incomplete. Toronto still looking for its first down in the football game. It's been an unusual year for the Argonauts. It began, of course, in Fort McMurray. Matt?
Absolutely, it did. You know, this is just great coverage, pressuring the quarterback one-on-one, blanketing on boundary, and Trevor Harris had nowhere to throw that football.
2nd and 10, just inside the Argo 40-yard line. And now, a time count violation will go against the Argo quarterback.
Time count violation, Toronto number 7, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 15. You heard the guys talk about it, Matt, in the pregame show. How much leash does Trevor Harris have?
Well, according to Scott Milanovich yesterday, when I talked to him at length about the young quarterback, he believes that he's deserved the opportunity to work his way through this. And you know, last week he was considered an MOP candidate, and this week everybody's asking for his head and calling for Ricky Ray.
Brandon Whitaker, a big block, but Harris is tracked down and dropped by Alan Michael Cash, and the Argonauts still don't have a first down.
And I'll say this, Gord, facing Montreal and this football team, this defense has been solid all season long, and they make a lot of quarterbacks look average. And here's Alan Michael. I love me some Cash money. He's just going to get to the quarterback out here, and they're going. And you see John Bowman on his horse going over the top. Bowman turns it back in, and there's Cash money sealing the deal.
So Rogers back to punt again into the wind. And this one's short, right around midfield. And it runs out of bounds at about the 50-yard line. So Kevin Glenn will have decent field position after a 30-yard punt by the Argonauts. Glenn made his Alouette debut last week. He's got them ahead 7-0 in the early going against Toronto. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the CFL.
You must have that memorized by now, Gord.
I do, my friend.
Yeah.
Gord Miller, Matt Dunnigan here on a Friday night, week 18 of the CFL season kicking off. Kevin Glenn, 9 for 10 for a touchdown.
How about that?
Well, how about
practice? Practice. We're talking about practice, Gord.
Last week, Matt, one practice with his new team to play a game.
Yeah, and not much better this week. He had one more practice and a walkthrough. So, you know, AC is really relying on Kevin Glenn's experience factor, and they've worked extra after practice just with the subtleties of how receivers move in and out of their routes. And I thought that was really interesting talking to S.J. Green yesterday about Kevin Glenn and how they've been able to get on the same page. And obviously with zone coverage, you really have to worry about that.
Now a first down carry and bounces into Argo territory to the 50-yard line, a gain of 10 yards, close to a first down.
Yeah, you know, Gord, it's kind of interesting. This is what you want on 1st and 10. Gaping hole. Luckily for Toronto, Sutton loses his footing there, but you know, different dynamic for Montreal. You got Jonathan Crompton and Ryan Dinwiddie up in the booth tonight, and that's a different vantage point for the young Jonathan Crompton, and the continuing revolving door of the Montreal Alouettes quarterback situation takes a different angle. And
it's Crompton on the right.
Yeah.
And it'll be just short of an Alouettes first down. So You go through 4 different starting quarterbacks. That's one factor, Matt. The second factor is Montreal has turned the ball over a ton, the most interceptions in the CFL, and also one of the most penalized teams. So they can iron out the penalties and the turnovers, give their quarterbacks a chance, and now in short yardage, Tanner Marsh comes in.
And it kind of compounds, Gord, inconsistency offensively, and people start pressing and doing things out of the norm, and penalties are taken, and it just kind of snowballs. Certainly Tanner Marsh, he's been a spark for this football team in many situations he's been put in. And this is one that he excels in right now, short yardage.
Marsh takes this straight ahead and has the Alouette first downs. We mentioned the Alouettes only hope to make the playoffs and continue their streak of 19 consecutive years in the postseason is to cross over into the West Division.
They can do that by just winning out.
But they have to have a better record than the fourth place West Division team. They can't tie them. They have to have a better record.
Absolutely. And here's a look at those crossover standings. Fairly tight. 2 from the West looking to stay in it. Certainly Montreal looking to take that.
Spots it back up and throws that towards the sidelines. Nick Lewis had broken in, but that had trouble written all over it from the get-go.
That snap's not too bad. Kevin just can't handle it, and then the play is disrupted from the beginning, and he does a smart thing and just chunks it away.
2.5 to go here in the opening quarter. The Alouettes do have the wind at their back here.
Now I'm interested in seeing if Toronto finally brings a little bit of pressure, or if they continue to play zone.
Showing
some pressure.
Glenn sees it, throws. Oh, look out. He tried to find Cunningham over the middle, and Jermaine Gabriel, the safety, got the stick on him, and Montreal will be forced to punt for the first time.
Yeah, and they're gonna bring all kinds of pressure up front here like this, and getting Kevin Glenn's way, and Jermaine Gabriel sitting back there kind of pot hanging, waiting for the meat, and he gets some right there. And Cunningham, and he delivers a block.
Jefferson back to receive the kick at his 10-yard line. Beatty looking for the sideline, and it'll roll into the end zone and go out there. So the Alouettes trying to play the field position game. It didn't quite work out. And Toronto will get 1 and scrimmage from the 35-yard line. Here's John Bowman, a sack wiped out earlier by an offside penalty, but Bowman having another strong year for this Montreal defense. 11 sacks, tied for second in the CFL. There you go.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I don't know if he's going to play another year or another 2. I hope he does, because the guy's productive. I mean, there was a point this year where he was benched for some unknown reason, and I like the way that guy plays ball too. Gabriel napped him.
Lane fake to Whitaker. Try the other side. Anthony Coombs. Coombs has room to run. And the Argonauts should have their first down of the game as Coombs gets out to the Toronto 45-yard line. It is a first down, Toronto.
Yeah, that's a high percentage throw. Here he is right here. He's going to run here and a little hitch screen and get upfield. And this is what you do. I like it. Well, that's just well executed by his 2 blockers and his teammates. And Anthony Coombs, second-year player from the University of Manitoba, moves the sticks.
Back to the ground to Whitaker, and Brandon Whitaker gets a gain of 9 out close to midfield. As we take a look at players to watch in the Montreal defense, Matt.
Yeah, I just went all linebackers. You know me, I love some linebackers. Yes, I do.
Except when you played against them.
Yeah, well, no, I respected them. You know, I was just a linebacker in a quarterback's body. I had nothing else I could do but play the game. But Enoch Mwamba, what a get for them. He's in the middle. He's basically the 4th middle linebacker of the season, surrounded by incredible talent in Winston Venable and Chip Cox. Just playmakers across the board, those linebackers from Montreal.
2nd and a yard for the Argonauts. Whitaker again, and he gets stacked up by the Montreal defense. He probably lost a yard, and it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Argonauts. And once again, Toronto sends on the punting unit. So just one first down so far for the Argonauts in the opening quarter.
Yeah, it's just solid defense, and this is the mainstay of this football team. Has had to be over the last several years in the absence of. I mean, even when Anthony Calvillo was in his last year, he was struggling with the whole Hawkins regime and fell off the table in his production. That defense had to step up, and ever since then, they've been the mainstay of this football team. And Noah Thorpe has got them ready again tonight.
Flag is down. That'll be no yards against Toronto. So Logan goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line, but the Alouettes will get a boost from the penalty as we reach the conclusion of the quarter, and the penalty call from referee Andre Prue.
No yards. Toronto number 25, 15-yard penalty. First down Montreal, one more play in the first quarter.
So Isaiah Green gets called for a second special teams penalty in the opening quarter. And the Alouettes will now scrimmage at their 33-yard line.
Yeah, Gordon, go back to the short yardage stop here and watch 99 right here. He's going to get in front right on Fanotti, and he's going to cross his face. And watch him cross his face with the guard, and he's the one that stops that penetration, right? Gets penetration and stops the ball carrier, forces this situation, gets the ball back in the hands of Kevin Glenn.
Jesse Joseph with the tackle. Now the Alouettes first down from their 33, but again a flag comes down before the ball is snapped.
Procedure. Montreal number 59, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So they're giving back some of what they got.
And Josh Burke's having a first quarter to forget here, and it's the second penalty he's drawn here, pushing his team back.
Alouettes were 3-5 when Jim Pop took over. 2-5 since. Their 5-10 record, by the way, the worst they've been after 15 games since they returned to the CFL in 1996.
There you talk about a guy who's earned an opportunity to right the ship. That's Jim Pop.
Swing it off to Sutton. Terrell Sutton puts his head down, gets across the 40-yard line. Brought down there by Brandon Isaac, a gain of 13 yards. And the first quarter does come to an end with the Montreal Alouettes holding an 8-0 lead on the Toronto Argonauts. You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Football. First game of the doubleheader here on TSN.
Let me get this straight. You quit your job, sold all your...
The opening quarter, 8 first downs for the Alouettes to 1 for Toronto. 121 net yards to 17, and Kevin Glenn throws his 250th career touchdown pass. Gord Miller back here with Matt Dunnigan. The Alouettes riding a 4-game losing streak coming in. They turn to Kevin Glenn to another quarterback playing better so far tonight than they did last week.
It seems like Montreal, it seems the team is like backed in the corner. Don't you think, Gord? They're playing that way. They're playing with a sense of urgency. We heard Scott Milinovich off the top of the show talk about how this is a must-win situation for his football team, but it looks like the Alouettes have come out with more sense of urgency than Toronto certainly has, and Trevor Harris continues to struggle here in the first quarter, and he's going to force our hand into talking about that quarterback situation for Toronto if he doesn't turn it around.
Second and short, and not much doing there for the Alouettes as Cleon Lang makes the tackle. Brings down Terrell Sutton, and the Alouettes will be forced to punt from their own 41-yard line. Euclid Cummins also in there on the tackle.
Yeah, thank you. I love me some Euclid. But I just like the interior defensive play of the Toronto Argonauts, period. Euclid Cummins and Cleon just getting it done up front.
Procedure. Montreal, number 35, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
So they'll back up some more. The Argonauts will have the wind here in the second quarter, such as it is. The wind is swirling here tonight from one side of the field to the other, but it is slightly at the back of the team going left to right as we look at it.
And the way that we you saw Rogers punt in the first quarter, you could tell it was affecting his production and certainly ability to punt the football like he wanted to. See if Beatty can get one off here.
Low driving kick. Owens from the 35-yard line. And Owens pushed out of bounds at the 43. And much like the Montreal Alouettes, Matt, the Toronto Argonauts have had poor starts the last couple of games. Only one touchdown to show for the first half in their last two games.
Yeah, this is a second-half football team, no doubt. And Trevor Harris has proved that. He's got more fourth-quarter comeback victories than any quarterback in the league with 6. And, you know, that's a concern, you know, because you want to get off to better starts. But I liken that and write that off to a lot of adversity they've been facing in certain situations that they try to control as best they can and playing just disruption in the process. Oh, quick snap.
Wasn't expecting that snap, but gets it. Being lined up by Bowman. Throws it underneath, and the pass is caught by Kevin Elliott.
This is crazy.
Picks up 5 on the play.
He had Velcro on his chest, and Keeping just fires it back there, and thank goodness there's a direct snap. Watch this. It just hits him right in the chest. His hands don't even get on it. And then oops, now we got to start the play. They actually executed fairly well.
Whoop.
Yeah, when you least expect it, and Harris was not expecting it there. Direct snap from Keeping. Nice job by the veteran.
2nd and 5 now for the Argonauts from their 48-yard line. Here comes the rush. Harris stands in, throws underneath. Pass is caught by Torrey Gurley, but Gurley is wrapped up right away on the play as he got brought down there by the Alouettes. Nicholas Boulay.
Hey, I am all over Gurley here on this situation here. He's coming right across your screen underneath the defense. Harris got pressure, dumps it down. Now you have a sense of urgency. Turn it up. Go play football. Initiate some contact. Move the sticks. He's like a deer in the headlights there. Stops in his tracks, and Montreal defenders were all over him.
Rogers sends it down to Logan at the 20-yard line. Stephon Logan goes out of bounds just shy of the 30. S.J. Green knocking on the door for another 1,000-yard season. His Alouettes have the early lead on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Coming up next on Wendy's Friday Night Football, the Hamilton Ticats take on the BC Lions. Toronto wants Hamilton to lose. Montreal wants BC to lose.
Yeah, I love it. This time of year, everybody's got their own agenda, own wish list. Right now, offenses are wishing that these defenses weren't playing so well.
Ticat fans have come down to their home stadium. The Argonauts are playing here for the 4th time this year. Glenn throws it way out to the sidelines to Logan, and Steph Logan out across the 40 to the 43-yard line, a gain of 14 yards on a Montreal first down.
Yeah, this is a veteran throw here. It's a 41-yard strike. Watch Kevin Glenn. The ball is going to be thrown all the way across the football here, and it's thrown with accuracy. He's trying to push it downfield, but he's got to go to the flat. Watch it. Just stick it out there. Very accurate throw, on time, lets the receiver turn it up and move the chains. That's what Kevin Gunn brings. I called him a journeyman. He's a hired gun. He's a professional hired gun. He's very good at what he does. His numbers bore out.
Early movement, and Sutton gets wrapped up by Greg Jones. A gain of a couple on the play. Looked like Toronto might have gone offside.
I mean, you talk about getting on the horse and riding. I know I say that quite often in these broadcasts, Gord, but it's fitting here because Kevin Glenn just took the reins of this football team and just started sprinting.
Offside. Toronto, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
I don't mind when you say get on your horse and ride. I get confused when you say get on your horse and climb the ladder. That confuses me.
I've never said that. Yeah, it's...
Little jump. Toss underneath. Fullback J.C. Bolio down to the 50-yard line. He's got a first down after the offside call. A gain of 12. That's just his 4th catch of the year.
Second-year player. For sure, bro. That's fantastic. And this looks like a busted play because timing wasn't there, and Kevin Glenn was ready to throw the football before Boyer was looking for it. And he just made Jermaine Gabriel, who's a free safety, goes about 220 pounds, look. Well, he became the nail in a hurry there.
Remember when the fullback was such a big part of Montreal's offensive attack?
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely love it.
Now they're swinging up the other side. Brandon Rutley's got some room to run. Rutley.
He's running back.
Jermaine Gabriel, but gets down to the 30-yard line. And the gain of the play is 19. Another Montreal first down.
Yeah, high percentage throw, throw it underneath, let your guys block it. Rutley's running mad, and he's running free. Watch the blockers out in front. Just don't watch the football. Just watch the blockers out in front of Rutley work for him. Swing pass, give it to him, high percentage. There's a nice block. There's a nice hold. And Rutley says, thank you very much. Gets you about 20.
First down, Alouettes from the Toronto 30-yard line. Fires again, it's Rutley again, another first down inside the 20 and down to the 17.
It just reminds me of the first drive when we saw Toronto go all defense. Kevin Glenn was just pitching and catching like practice and just darting and dotting receivers with the football. And here he's just going to run it out, and he's going to ball's going to be delivered on timing with accuracy. Just sit down there in the zone. Thomas Miles, I don't care what kind of spectacular season he's having at will linebacker, he can't get there. That's an area outside that's undefended, and they're just picking it apart.
There's Toronto defensive coordinator Casey Crehan. And now the carry goes to Terrell Sutton, and maybe a yard of the play for him.
Now this is where you want. This is, you bend, you don't break a little bit. We talk about that a lot in the CFL game. Make people dink and dunk you down the football field. Don't give up those big chunks. Now here you're in an advantageous situation defensively, second and long. They got to come up with a stop here.
Montreal comes in ranked last in the league in passing yards and last in passing touchdowns, thanks to all the turnover at the quarterbacking position. Second and long. Glenn fires, and it is caught. What a catch by S.J. Green, who takes a massive shot but hangs on. And it's a first down at the 6-yard line, and that'll put S.J. Green over 1,000 yards receiving on the season.
For the 4th time in his career, and S.J. Green, a small window. Credit to Kevin Glenn and the veteran receiver finding that soft spot right there in the zone coverage, and Glenn having the confidence to stick it in there. That extra time after practice and the 2 days of practice this week paid off as Glenn put that there with timing.
Alyssa Ansel with the hard hit, but Green hangs on. First and goal from the 6. To the end zone, Green can't hang on. That's his bread and butter catch down there, but he can't quite squeeze it.
Kevin Glenn threw a pretty beautiful football. SJ had a drop ball last week. In fact, Kevin Glenn had 7 drop balls last week, and I talked to SJ about it, and he says he's got to be better. That ball's a catchable ball. He'll catch that 99% of the time, and that's 2 weeks in a row. He's dropped catchable touchdown passes, and that doesn't sit well with the professionalism and certainly character and ability of Solomon Jr.
Now they try the other side. Touchdown, Fred Stamps. Another impressive drive by the Montreal Alouettes. And it's a 6-yard touchdown strike to Fred Stamps, who has his 4th touchdown catch in the last 5 games.
Yeah, this man coverage, and they took advantage of it. They had the right call, a little run play. Pick if you're a defensive player. He's gonna waggle down. The receiver's gonna come up here, and Fred Stamps is gonna come out here. The ball's gonna be darted for Fred Stamps' 53rd career touchdown reception. Taking it all day. Montreal in Toronto's defensive playbook on that drive.
Now Beatty for the point after to make it a 15-point lead. And it is up and good. And once again, the Toronto Argonauts find themselves down early in the first half in Hamilton Stadium. Kevin Glenn finds Fred Stamps. 15-0 Montreal ahead. 9-play, 81-yard drive for the Alouettes. Chews up 4.5 minutes on the clock and caps off with Kevin Glenn finding Fred Stamps for his 4th touchdown catch of the year. And Kevin Glenn having an impressive impressive night for the Montreal Alouettes in his second start with the team. Lighting up the Toronto Argonauts thus far. He's 16 of 20 for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. Steele takes the kick options outside the 10-yard line. And gets out to the 25-yard line, brought down there by Jean-Samuel Blanc.
Yeah, the only incomplete
back home
pass
in Detroit watching the game.
Keep it going. There you go. Hey, one-on-one coverage right here, right? If you got people all lined up here, very easy to see pre-snap. So the only man coverage to get down here one-on-one is this play. And Kevin Glenn's got the right play call, and they execute it to perfection. Fred Stamps gets a little rub work.
And meantime,
and the sidelines, things are getting a little disruptive. As an Alouette, when you look across the football field and see that, you're laughing because you know you got them right where you want them. They're fighting amongst themselves.
Looks like Akwasi, Owusu Ansah, and Devin Smith were getting after it. And now Harris throws. It's caught with one hand by the fullback, Brendan Galanders. And Galanders.
Gerald Brown was right in his face as Harris tries to deliver that foot. Watch him come off the edge here, unabated, and then sticks him right in the ribs.
It's a good catch by Galanders.
A heck of a catch.
Brings up 2nd and 2 for the Argonauts, who fell behind 17-0 to Calgary here last week. Brandon Whitaker has the first down. A very late flag comes down.
It looks like it's in the holding area.
And it is going against Toronto. Last week, Trevor Harris, Matt, said that his performance, 3 interceptions in that game,
holding
was the worst he's had.
Toronto number 57, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Since high school.
Yeah, and you know, you play the game long enough, and he hadn't played very long, Trevor, certainly at this professional level in CFL, but I love the way he owned it. I love the way he took accountability, and it says a lot about this young man. You know, in adversity, you don't build character, it's revealed, and Trevor Harris, I thought really showed a lot by owning up to the poor play from last week.
Flags are down. There was early movement by the Alouettes. You saw a glance of Ricky Ray, a future Hall of Famer on the sidelines, who was not taking the snap yet.
Toronto, number 66.
He's not
5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
He's not 100%, and I asked Scott Malinovich about that yesterday, and he's in a bind. If Trevor continues to struggle here, is not productive. He's got a 90-95% healthy Ricky Ray on the sidelines. He looked at me, Matty, what would you do? And I'd say I'd let the kid work through it. But if Ricky Ray's 100%, he said he'd go at Ricky Ray right now.
Harris under pressure, and he is dropped. Bowman got a hand on him to bring him down. A late flag comes down again.
Yeah, they're going to wipe this off. It's holding on Toronto, and they'll take the sack.
Toronto number 66. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Yeah, right.
Sack for the Alouettes.
Yeah, right now it is just getting ugly, and I believe we're looking at him right here, and it's Fonoti, and he's just getting worked right now by John Bowman, a veteran who's just, they're dominating the line of scrimmage right now, making life miserable for Trevor Harris, who's looking for a bounce-back game.
Now Jake Rogers has the punt from his end zone. Low tumbling kick. Logan took it to the 42-yard line. That's going to be no yards against the Argos, and Logan looking for the corner.
He's got it.
He's got it. And gets inside the 20-yard line, brought down at the 15. Another flag comes down. James Jurachuk of the Argos appeared to horse collar someone on the way down the field on coverage. But there's more penalties to come, and the Montreal Alouettes, fighting for their playoff lives, have a 15-0 lead and great field position against Toronto.
So let us see it. Let us see it. Whoa. Oh, wow. It's regal. Oh.
First of all, James Jurachuk, 7 years from Bishops, 3 with the Toronto Argonauts. He's a special teams guru. He's running all over the football field. He's already run about 100 yards, and here he takes a different angle because he knows he's going to get run, and he grabs Hare with the right hand, Jersey with the left. And that's a surefire flag every time.
But penalty was declined. First down Montreal at the Toronto 16-yard line. And Sutton with the first down carry. And Brandon Isaac helps make the stop on the play. The first downs are 14-1 in Montreal's favor here in the first half.
Yeah, and that has been a dominant offensive performance from Kevin Glenn, who's basically had only a handful of practices with his new teammates, but the veteran leadership is paying off. I mean, those are numbers that quarterbacks would take for the entire game, let alone a quarter and a half of play.
On second down, Glenn throws, and the catch is made.
Thick Nick.
It's Nick Lewis down to the 3-yard line. Good for another Montreal first down, a gain of 10.
Hey, why not give it to Thick Nick Lewis? Goes about 240. I'll give him just 240. I'll leave it at that. He just runs a quick out, man. Coverage. Beats his man. I mean, a speed cut out. Guys playing off, you don't have to run into him. Just run a speed cut. Glenn recognizes it, spots the ball. First and goal.
He'd rather you called him Quick Nick.
No, that was back in 2004 when I signed him in Calgary.
First down carry, Terrell Sutton, touchdown. Puts his head down, runs over Jermaine Gabriel. And Sutton's got his second touchdown of the first half.
Ooh, man, that's the way to do it. Lower the shoulder. Smell that goal line. Hey, you want this? That is beautiful. That is the way to do it. Minus the F-bomb. Ooh, that is nice. Coming right at you, Jermaine Gabriel goes about 220. He's standing there in the hole. He gets trucked. Terrell Sutton said, "No, sir, not today."
Stop. That's why.
That was real pretty.
Let's go.
That's the way to get her done right there.
Beatty with a chance to make it a 22-0 lead, and he does. And the Montreal Alouettes, who came in on a 4-game losing streak, coming off a 23-11 loss at home to Hamilton, are putting one on Toronto here.
What's the buffalo?
That's embarrassing, you know, for Jermaine Gabriel. He's a physical ball player, and he just got trucked in the hole by Terrell Sutton, who won a little bit more. Kind of got flat-footed right there, and then it's game over. Auto squat, deadlifts. Training the offseason pays off. Just Sutton right there. Point of contact. He wins the battle. Got lower. You can see it right there. Momentum into a stop player sitting on his heels. Not going to work out very well.
Am I right?
Sutton with 9 touches, 46 total yards, and a pair of touchdowns here in the first half.
Well, they're just dominating the line of scrimmage right now and taking it to this Toronto defense, who was really good 2 weeks ago with 3 sacks and 2 interceptions in a win over Montreal. But right now, Montreal looks like the team is playing with more sense of urgency and certainly
The Argonauts have clinched a playoff spot. But the idea is to get yourself first place, get that bye.
That's huge.
And for them, more than anyone, it matters. Beatty hangs this kickoff high in the air into the wind. Owens takes it to the 20-yard line. Chad Owens forced back in. And Brian Brakowski down to make the tackle. And the Alouettes are flying all over the field.
They are. Gord, that's a great way to put it, because they are flying in all facets right now. Defense, offense, and it's carrying over to special teams. Chad Owens wants to take it wide side, and he gets turned back in. And there's Brakowski right there saying thank you.
So now the Argo offense takes over the 25. 5 possessions, Matt. 1 first down, 4 2-and-outs.
I'm looking for the most decorated, highest paid backup quarterback holding a clipboard on the sidelines to be warming up for that second half right now.
Harris swings it out. The catch made by Chad Owens. And Owens fights his way back inside the 35-yard line. Be close to a Toronto first down.
And that's who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ricky Ray, who's won 3 Grey Cups. He's close to being 100%. Coach Malinovich knows the importance of trying to win out and getting that home, that bye. And I can tell you that it's not that Trevor Harris has made a lot of mistakes out there. They're just not doing anything offensively because Montreal's defense is just getting after it. Not sure if Ricky Ray would have much more success out there right now, but we could find out here shortly.
Coming off shoulder surgery in the offseason. Andrew McPherson on second and a yard, and he should have it.
We saw him do that for like 5 years with Montreal Alouettes team, and he dominated. He was our valedictorian at sneak school, Jock Climby and myself, and this kid was just phenomenal in short yardage situations. He goes about 6'3", 230 pounds, and tremendous athlete. You can see he lives in the weight room, and in those situations with those big boys up front, Adrian McPherson made a living at that. Now he's doing it in Toronto.
So Pop having a conversation with the referee Andre Prue.
Up to the 51 coming on the field. Okay, that's the reason why. Okay? Sorry, but that's the rule. Okay.
Talking about Christian, number 51. Are they talking about?
Oh, he said, it was a hold, but he didn't.
There's no penalty on the play, but they're sorting something out, and we'll step away for the 3-minute warning with Montreal all over Toronto.
It's good to communicate.
Rod and the boys getting set for live at the half, 3 minutes away. One team looks like it's in desperation. The other looks like it's in disarray right now. Big difference between the Owls and the Argos. We'll talk about it. The quarterbacking, Montreal's defense too, as we go back to Gordon, Matt, and Hamilton.
Nothing the panel likes more than a quarterbacking controversy.
And I love listening to those guys hashing around and kicking around about them quarterbacks. Quarterback-driven league, why not?
Harris dumps underneath. The Landers again brought down, this time by Dominique Ellis. And the gain of the play is 2. Enough for a first down.
Is that his second reception of the day?
I believe it is, yeah.
He's got 6 on his career now. And he looks hungry when he catches that football. He's not looking to run around anybody. He's looking to run over somebody and initiate contact. Love that.
First down Argos from their own 48-yard line. Harris throws again. It's caught by Hazelton. And Hazelton takes a shot for the safety, Marc-Olivier Brouillette, but picks up a first down and a gain of 15.
So Montreal comes out here passive on this drive and runs zone coverage a couple plays in a row. And Trevor Harris says, oh, thank you. It's about time. He plays a little pitch and catch himself. First down to Glanders, and here, Gurley right across the middle. That's easy. Quarterbacks who do that all day. Zone coverage is our friend. High completion throws behind the line of scrimmage, screens, draws, run the football, and hit those zones, those holes in the zones. And man coverage, that's when things get a little hectic in the backfield.
Montreal is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass. The play will be reviewed.
It's our first review of the day.
Yeah. They're successful about 1/3 of the time. Most reviews are about defensive pass interference. So does Hazelton have possession?
I really think that this offseason, offensive pass interference has got to be reviewable as well. That's happened several times this year. There's stuck it right on him right there. Well, it looks like it.
Well, the ball came out near the end. I'm not sure what the...
I couldn't see it come out with that angle. Maybe this angle we can see it. Yeah, oh yeah. I don't think he survives contact.
Was he down though?
I don't think he survives contact. Remember they used to say you got to come up and show the official you got the football?
Yeah.
He didn't have the football here. Right there. I think the ball's out. That could even be a fumble. No, he picks it up himself. That could be a catch, a fumble, and recovery, and move the chains. That's what I think. That's what I'm going with, Gordon.
You're going with catch, fumble,
I put my chips right there on that.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a completed pass. First down, Toronto.
Well, I think you're right. They didn't have to rule a fumble recovery, so I think you're right. I'm going to give you that one.
Okay.
You get full marks for that one.
Oh, a gift. A gift.
4 out of 4.
That typically didn't happen.
So an unsuccessful challenge.
But that's huge here for Toronto. I mean, zone coverage, Montreal in the last couple minutes of the half here. they've changed things up and gotten a little passive. And Toronto's.
Saw Milanovic say he hit him in the head.
Please reset the clock to read 2 minutes and 21 seconds and reset both clocks.
So some time added here, just in time for the Argonauts. Milanovic is not in a pleasant state of mind right now. You see Marcus Brady, the offensive coordinator, on the left.
He's down out of the box because his young quarterback prefers it that way. More communication.
Harris stands in, looking over the top, has a man Elliott in behind Billy Parker, but he went in, the pass went out, and it's incomplete.
Well, this time of year, it just doesn't seem like that should happen. Nobody's in the middle of the defense. You got cover 0, and they're pressuring the quarterback. You got one-on-one coverage, and Trevor throws it outside. Hastings comes inside. Watch, nobody in the middle of that defense right there, except for the official. Hastings going in. Harris is going out. Incomplete ball.
2nd and 10 for the Argos from the Montreal 47-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Harris is under pressure, and he is dropped. Once again taken down by Alan Michael Cash. 2 sacks on the night. He had 2 on the season coming in. And Harris is shaken up.
I would be too. I mean, that's a big man hitting you. And he beat 2 defenders and kind of got bounced back into the play. Watch him. He's going to push the pile here, and then he's going to get redirected right there. He gets redirected on one leg, and he falls into Harris.
Rogers to Logan down at the 15-yard line. Logan juggled it. Puts his head down. He gets up to the 30-yard line, a 40-yard punt, and a return of 15. And so the Alouettes have the ball back with 1:47 to go here in the first half.
That's like 185, and Logan running over Galanders is about 230. And he got low, and speed kills. And
while the ball was in flight, holding Montreal number 46, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Now the penalty will take the Alouettes back to their 7-yard line, and suddenly now with 1:47 to go in the first half, field position and the clock come into play.
Yeah, Montreal's enjoyed tremendous field position this entire first 30 minutes of the football game, and this is a flip in the script here. Penalties got in their way.
From their 7-yard.
Toronto didn't. They did this to themselves.
First down carry to Sutton. Isaac wraps him up at about the 10-yard line, marking as a gain of 2 on the play. Now would Milanovic consider calling timeout here to give them some time to operate if they hold them on 2nd down? So far, no.
Say 2nd down, he will. They stop.
The Argonauts need some kind of quick change in this football game, but Jim Pop's team's had things all its own way so far. Marching gain is 3 at 2nd and 7. Glenn throws it incomplete as he was trying to find S.J. Green, and so the incompletion will stop the clock, and the Alouettes will have to punt with 1:21 to go in the half.
Tristan Opalalugo got out there and got his big mitts. I think disrupted the flight of that football. Toronto elected to go a little man coverage there and pressure the quarterback and force the hand of Kevin Glenn and forcing his punt situation. It's about time. Zone coverage has not been working for Casey Crehan's defense here in the first 30 minutes of play.
Owens urging his teammates on, stands at the Montreal 50 to receive this punt from Boris Beatty. Are not going to give Toronto the chance to take advantage of that field position. Beatty will surrender 2, and so the Argonauts are finally on the board with 1:13 to go in the first half. They get 2.
And they're gifted by the Montreal Alouettes. Penalties back them up. They got to stop defensively. I give them credit on that side of the board, but then they're conceded 2 points by the Montreal Alouettes here. And Scott Milanovic is going to have a choice here in the second half, and it'll be interesting to see how he goes. I'm sure Matthew Schneider will be all over it. And Trevor Harris is still feeling a little bit of effects from this hit from Alan Michael Cash, getting a sack right there. Right on the shoulder, watch it. That ground doesn't give when you got 300 pounds laying on you.
So here's my question for you, Matt. If Trevor Harris is shaken up and can't continue, is it Ray or Adrian McPherson? That's a cold Ricky Ray who hasn't played yet this year.
Yeah, he's got 15 minutes or so to warm up. That's as good as the situations you're gonna get right now. But I don't see anybody playing well as good as this Montreal defense is playing right now. I credit them for forcing their hand for Toronto Argonauts right now into that decision to possibly having to make a switch at quarterback.
6 drives, 6 punts for the Argonauts offensively. As the ball blows off the tee, 4 2-and-outs, and just 4 first downs here in the first half.
Yeah, it sounds like Montreal's first half last week when they only totaled 82 yards total offense in the first half.
And under Trevor Harris, this has been one of the CFL's most productive offenses this year.
Yeah, you know, I kind of liken it to a second time, third time through the batting order in baseball and how a pitcher does. And Trevor Harris is kind of going through that right now, second time seeing a team. And it's a little more difficult when they get a beat on you.
Number 9 of onside comes on. Trevor Harris with a quick warm-up toss. Ricky Ray is warming up as well, lightly on the Argos sideline. Just uncorked a couple of warm-up catches.
Hey,
still in his jacket.
Right middle. Hey, we're right.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's getting hot for anything. Maybe some soup in the halftime in the locker room.
Good soup here at Tim Hortons Stadium.
Yeah, a little mushroom soup here for the game. Pretty good.
First down for the 46. Harris being lined up again and tripped up by Hinak Mwamba. Gain of 5 on the play. And the clock inside a minute to go in the first half.
That's closing speed. And there's Enoch. He's going to drop and then relocate. Zone coverage. Go get him. Trevor Harris underrated as far as his running ability goes. Got trapped by Enoch.
2nd and 5. Harris throws. It is intercepted. Picked off by Gerald Brown, and he's off and running. Brown gets inside the 40-yard line down to the Toronto 39. And the Alouettes have the ball back with 38 seconds to go in Toronto territory. And a 28-yard return on the interception by Brown, his first of the year.
Yeah, this is really nice. And he's going to drop into coverage here and just kind of settle in this area and then show us his vertical and his one-hand catching ability. Sits underneath a climb route right there. Trevor can't spot it over the top. And Gerald Brown has his 18th career interception.
That's 11 interceptions for Harris now in his last 6 games.
This is not what Trevor Harris anticipated, trying to rebound from a horrific game last week.
Now Glenn throws it quickly. And the pass caught by Cunningham.
Nightmare continues for Trevor Harris, and Scott Milenovich, head coach of the Toronto Argonauts, is when we asked about who would he vote for the MOP, and he clearly said yesterday, he says, I'd vote for Henry Burris because Trevor's thrown too many interceptions as of late. And I found that alarming, but
that was his league-leading 18th, Matt. Here's Glenn now on 2nd and long, has some time, directs some traffic, throws up the sidelines. It's incomplete. Again, looking for Cunningham. So 3rd down now with 20 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, he's got a league-leading 18 interceptions, but he also has a league-leading 32 touchdown passes to go along with it, and a league-leading number of times he's played on the road. This is his 13th time in 16 games he's been on the road out of the Rogers Center, and in his first year, I think an incredible season for the young man.
So Beatty will try a 43-yard field goal. Tanner Marsh is the holder. Beatty, the most accurate field goal kicker in the league this year at 92%. Kind of helicopters that one through. But it is good. Beatty with a smile. You've indicated the draw there.
Absolutely. 34 of 37 now.
So here's a look what the Alouettes have done in the first half. It began with that throw to Terrell Sutton for the touchdown.
Little pick play, little run play from Fred Stamps.
That made it 15-0. And Sutton again rolls over Jermaine Gabriel. And then the interception leads to the field goal by Beatty, 25-2. The Alouettes here in the first half. Did you have this?
No, not at all. I thought it'd be more competitive, and right now it's a blowout in every facet.
Well,
special teams, defense, and offense.
If Trevor Harris is going to fashion one of those fourth quarter comebacks, it's going to be a big one. Give it off to Brandon Whitaker. And Whitaker gets up to the 50-yard line.
That's just incredible, that patience in the hole by Brandon Whitaker, two-way. Nice hole to begin with. Zone coverage, soft zone coverage by Montreal, understanding the situation with a little time on the clock, but just showing you patience as he's running the football there and moves the chains for about 15 yards.
Should be the final play of the first half, and not a moment too soon for Toronto. The Alouettes fighting for their playoff lives, putting in one of their best first halves of the season. And Whitaker again gets out to midfield, but the Montreal Alouettes, 5-10 on the year, still with a hope of catching a crossover spot in the playoffs. Dominate the first half, a 25-2 lead, as we send you to the studio for Live at the Half.
All right, thank you, Gord. Some people might say the Toronto Argonauts are finally just fed up with playing all these home games on the road, or you might just say the Alouettes want this game and need this game a lot more because they are thoroughly dominating the Argonauts at Tim Hortons Field. Back with the panel of Mike Benavides and Jock Climby and Chris Schultz. And it started right out of the gate. Kevin Glenn, 8-play, 71-yard drive touchdown, but also the work of the defense, Benny, has been absolutely outstanding. Alouettes better in every aspect of the game so far.
There's no question when you look at that half of football. And really, ladies and gentlemen, football is about physicality and emotion. And the Montreal Alouettes, they are prepared and they're ready to go. They lost 4 in a row. They need this win. You see right there in the motion getting ready, Nick Lewis getting them going. First drive of the game, touchdown. Great way to go, get it into the end zone. And even though there's a penalty on this, you see this big, long return. That tells you that they're physically ready to go, speed in the game. You see that happen. Now, as it goes on, you see it time and time again. They want this game. They need this game. The defense is getting after it. Sack right here by Cash. They're continually creating pressure, but this is the one that gets me excited.
Yes.
He runs right over him. He is physically ready to play. The Alouettes want this game. They need this game, and they are emotionally prepared. As a coach, you want to see a team prepared, and they are.
Coach, I used to love watching you on the sidelines because you are an emotional guy. And you came right out of your seat with that play, and you're absolutely right. They came prepared to play. The Argos, you said it, Rod. They look like they're hard done by. They look like they're feeling sorry for themselves. They look like they're completely out of sorts. I could have run all kinds of examples of how this team is not playing typical Toronto football. But let me just give you a few. I mean, here this snap happens. They're not even ready. I mean, this is just a center snapping. Everyone's standing around. And then this is 2nd and 5 right here. And this happened twice in the first half where they needed 5 yards and picked up 3. This is not good football. And then to let a kickoff drop on the ground, it's unforgivable. The ball's in the air for about 4 seconds. It should never hit the ground. And then, to cap it all off, you have 2 players fighting on the sidelines. I mean, this Argo football team looks completely discombobulated. I don't know what's going on with them, but this is Milanovic's job, is it not? Milanovic has got to get these guys sorted out at the halftime.
Well, on the extreme opposite side, how about Kevin Glenn as a quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes? 2 weeks under the playbook, maybe less than that, but everything he is doing is precise, concise, and fast. There's nothing really spectacular about what he's throwing in terms of the football. It's all within the 10-yard radius, but it's time and time again. You can't help but think that Anthony Calvillo and Kevin Glenn are meshing a little bit in terms of an offensive coordinator and a quarterback that has seen it all and also has done it all. It'll be interesting to see how Montreal evolves because right now they're looking more efficient than they ever have.
Well, you guys talked about it at the pregame. I'm going to ask you again. If Ricky Ray is ready to go, if not so much Trevor Harris, but even just a change to fire up that team that's discombobulated to talk about, do you make the change?
Hey, I wanted the change to be made at halftime last week. So you know I'm ready to see the change. Even if it's Adrian McPherson, I'd like to see the change right now. Harris needs to watch from the sidelines for a little bit.
Well, I do it because you know what the Hamilton Ticats, they're sitting right now in BC Place watching this game going, you know what? If they lose and we keep winning, we're going to definitely get first place. So something has to be done. You need an energy. You need something to pick them up.
If it doesn't happen, there's something else going on. They either want Harris to work through it or Ricky's not capable just yet.
Question, Mike, if Harris continues to regress, then it affects his confidence.
It totally will, and it affects the entire team. It's a team now.
I'll tell you that much about the Ticats watching. One place the Argos seem to hate to play is Tim Hortons Field. Twice as the road team losing to the Ticats. Twice now as the home team. They lost last week to Calgary. They are losing right now to Montreal badly, 25-2. Back with Paul Alouettes and the GMC Coach's Playbook after this. Bacon portobello mushroom melt. It's back, but only at Wendy's. Now that's better. Big lead for the Montreal Alouettes at the half over the Toronto Argonauts. Back with Paul Alouettes and the GMC Sierra Coach's Playbook. Well, I mean, we're marveling at all aspects of Montreal's dominance in this game, and I know you have more to say about the job they've done defensively.
Yeah, watching this team, I think defensively, this is how they get charged up and ready to go. And they're ready to play football tonight. I mean, the defense, watch this Napton. He's going against the tight end Dupuis. Watch him throw him out of the way and then go make the tackle. 1st and 10 is where you got to stop people. He does a great job of it. Watch Bowman here. Bruce Campbell, he's taking him and he just does a power move to the inside, just drops him, puts himself in a position to sack the quarterback. Watch Bowman on this. This is an effort play you show to your players. He's the backside end, and he ends up going all the way across to play contain on the quarterback. Excellent job. Here's a 2nd and 1 stop that Joseph gets in there to, usually you don't get guys stopping them on 2nd one. Another great stop for them, Montreal-wise. Now think of this, 6 2-and-outs for that offense for the Argos, 1 interception. The Montreal defense are ready to play. They're doing a hell of a job.
On the other side of the ball, Kevin Glenn looks a lot more comfortable now than he did just last weekend against Hamilton.
Yeah, the big point, I think, is last week, Kevin probably knew where he was supposed to go. His primary throw, you're looking at either here or here. This week, he's probably got a better understanding of where his checkdowns are, where the other people are within the system. So if people aren't there, he can check it down to the other people. And he's doing a great job getting the ball in his hand quickly.
It's been a struggle for Trevor Harris, even though he's completing 80% of his passes, 8 for 10, but only 63 yards. Can't sustain drives. He's thrown an interception. Will we see a QB change with the Argos? Second half kickoff getting closer here on TSN.
My name is Brandon Isaac. I play for the Toronto Argonauts. I wear pink for my mother, Sandra Isaac. My mother was a loving, caring woman who supported me, a single-parent mother. She just shared love throughout her kids to show them that we didn't have a lot, but we had each other. When times got difficult and the world seemed to shut me out, she would always open up and love me. In 2009, she was diagnosed with cervical cancer. I can remember on 2012, April the 13th, we went to the doctor and he basically told us that her time with us was going to be very short. At that moment, she just wanted us to cherish time with her, be thankful for the moments that we did have together. She fought really hard because she knew that she really couldn't beat it, but she wanted us to understand that we should never quit in life, that times will become hard, and that we should never give up. May 6, 2012, my mother passed at the age of 43. These pink games are very important because cancer is very ugly. I watched my mama lose her life. I wish that she would have got tested and maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. I hope that everyone who is listening will go out and get a test because your lives matter.
Another very touching story. We thank Brandon Isaac for that. It is 25-2. The Alouettes leading the Argos at the half in Hamilton. Here's Jock with the stats.
Yeah, Rod, not very scintillating analysis coming up. See over here? Big numbers. See this over here? Small numbers. Came to play, did not come to play. That's my analysis, Rod. That's it.
You know what? It's simple but effective, and I think it's concise and to the point. Thank you, Jock. That sums it up. Chad Owens, veteran, trying to fire up his team. Nick Lewis doing a good job helping his get fired up. It's been all Alouettes so far. Second half about to get underway.
It's Friday night football. Come on.
Back here in Hamilton, where the Toronto Argonauts are playing their 4th road home game of the year. It began in Fort McMurray to the Pan Am Games, now kicked out of their home stadium. And Scott Milanovich, Matt Dunnigan, has decisions to make. First of all, let me ask you this. Tonight, would you stay with Trevor Harris?
I would. Game's out of hand. I don't care who's out there. I don't think you're coming back against this Montreal defense. With that offensive line, you're talking about a right guard and a right tackle that are based Rashad Johnson and Finotti, excuse me, I want to get that right. They're wet behind the ears. And Jeff Keeping is doing everything he can to help them out, but then Montreal just makes adjustments, and they're playing a lot of twists up front. They're living in the backfield. And I think that Toronto basically has to spread this out and make it a little simpler up front, and the quarterback's got to trust his eyes, Trevor Harris, and get rid of the football.
Beanie
Quickly.
sends it deep. And a return now for Akwasi Osuansa. He gets spun around. Chip Cox got a hand on him, still going. And then does get finally dropped on the special teams tackle by Nikos Boulet. So a 16-yard return, and Trevor Harris will come back to work. 8 of 11 passing in the first half, 64 yards, 1 interception, his league-leading 18th of the year.
Yeah, and I got a chance to look at Ricky Ray and some halftime, during the halftime in the locker room, and didn't look like a quarterback to me that was going to play in tonight's football game. Now, that may change. I would expect Adrian McPherson to go in before Ricky Ray if this game continues to go as lopsided as it is.
Here's Whitaker on the first down carry.
And most decorated, most expensive backup quarterback in the history of the CFL right now, Ricky Ray. And obviously I'm being facetious here, but that guy, he's not 100% yet. And when he is, he'll be playing some football.
Will he?
Will he?
Yes.
And when he's 100%, I think he will be playing some football. Whether it's this year, we're not sure.
There's the rub. Mitchell dumps it off for Whitaker. And Whitaker puts his head down.
That's what I'm talking about.
35-yard line, a gain of 6, and should be a Toronto first down.
There you go, Gord. Gurley in the first half, who was dancing around and didn't pick up the first down. This is how you do it. Watch two-way. Nice dump down, check off by Harris, and then he dips his shoulder and goes and runs over Boulet, who outweighs him by about 45, 50 pounds.
Interesting, Toronto won the toss prior to the game, deferred to the second half, took the ball, not the win here in the fourth quarter. Time winding down to the play clock. Give it back to Whitaker. Back by Boulet.
Oh, nice run.
And gets out across the 45-yard line for a gain of 9.
Well, that's just great run and redirection by Whitaker in the hole. He gets initial hole, just a little ISO. Outruns Boulet to the corner, dips, rips, picks up about 5 on his own at the end of that run.
And Adrian McPherson comes on with a short yardage offense. It's second and make it 2 for the Argonauts.
I like these situations. As an offense coordinator quarterback, he can run plays in this situation here.
Take the toss, and McPherson has some room to run. Adrian McPherson with some the football, huge stick. But the Argos pounce on it and maintain possession. That ball might be flat after Scott Mitchell jumped on it and recovered it for the Argos.
I like it. You know, he's going to wheel around this way and then come here on a boot. And he's going to get a nice kick-out block right here by Keeping. And he's off to the races. And then it's Winston Venable. He gets his helmet right on the football. One of my favorite linebackers in the league. Been really productive this year. Knocks that ball out.
Scott Mitchell gets it back. First down Toronto at the Montreal 50. And this time Whitaker gets dragged down by John Bowman after a gain of make it 4.
Yeah, this is the Argo bounce. McPherson is in the Man, he just put his head right on it, targeted it. And fortuitous bounce for the Argos. Nice job by Christian.
Now on 2nd and 6. And this time nowhere for Harris to go. He gets thrown down by Gabriel Napton. Some help from John Bowman on the play. And again, the Argonauts drive will stall. They'll have to kick.
Yeah, just more stunt movement here. Just people coming from all different angles. And you don't have to play it whole man when you're doing this stunt like that. You play half a man, you get him to turn his shoulders, and you got the upper hand. Momentum, size is in your favor. That's what Montreal's been doing a really good job of when they wanted to apply pressure to the Toronto offense.
Jake Rogers in his CFL debut. The 7th different player to punt for the Argos this year. Logan takes it inside the 10 and winds his way out to the 25-yard line.
That was a huge play by Stephon Logan. Didn't look like much. He could have let that ball go out of bounds about the 10-yard line. He tight-roped it on the sidelines and picked up 15 yards and gained better field position.
Kevin Glenn's having himself a night in his 2nd start for the Alouettes. Share your best game day pictures and videos on Twitter and Instagram using the Marks FanCam hashtag, and you could be featured on the CFL and TSN. Visit tsn.ca/MarksFanCam for turns. Showing night here in Hamilton on this Friday night, the first half of our doubleheader. Later tonight, BC Lions home to Hamilton. Armed Forces night here. The Argos once again displaced. It was the Pan Am Games at the start of the year.
You see that? They're taking full advantage of some photo ops of the cheerleaders in the stands.
Pass incomplete for Fred Stamps. It's broken up there by Devin Smith.
Yeah, these guys are all over that, saying, yeah, they're not missing an opportunity. Got a little lead. Come out here and why not?
There you go.
Why not?
Meanwhile on the field, Matt.
Yeah, sorry.
Second and 10 for the Alouettes. Glenn fires. S.J. Green makes the catch right at the first down marker at the 35-yard line.
Yeah. Remember what I said in the first drive of this ball game, particularly the entire first half? Zone coverage. Just go sit down in front of somebody in a soft spot in the zone.
S.J. Green passed 1,000 yards receiving in this game tonight. The 6th player in the league to do it this year.
Yeah, 4th time in his career. He did it in 2011, 12, 13, and again this year.
Now Glenn with a play fake, looking up the field. And the pass is B.J. Cunningham with a tremendous catch. A one-handed grab. Down he goes to the 32-yard line.
Kevin Glenn's coming up holding his right arm because he took a shot delivering this football.
A 43-yard gain, but what a catch by B.J. Cunningham.
Yeah, watch Kevin Glenn. He pays a price, little half roll, and then he gets hit right here. I think it's his hand, and then a one-handed snap. Woo! It's making an impression. Right? Yeah, it's into the wind. Kevin Glenn just chunking it pretty much as far as you can in this wind, and receiver comes up big for him on the other end.
That'll make up for some of those drops. Glenn drops it off for Brandon Rutley, and Rutley fights his way inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line, and a flag comes down at the end of the play.
I think deservedly so. That's about 4 or 5 yards out of bounds. Lay off it. Play's over with. That's just undisciplined.
A.J. Jefferson, the man who got flagged.
I don't think it was intentional, but he's got to have more awareness, particularly when you're 4 yards out of bounds.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Toronto number 24. After distance, automatic first down.
So a 15-yard penalty to tack on to the end of the play.
Why don't you just give him the end zone? I mean, Rutley running with a purpose and running mad. Plays over right there.
And a little shove right at the end.
I mean, that little shove cost his team 15 yards.
So first down now for the Alouettes at the Toronto 13. Glenn will toss directly again. And this time he gets pushed out of bounds by Brandon Isaac.
They call him B.I., and they love the way that he plays downhill, and been playing on his heels for the most part tonight, along with his teammates defensively for the Argonauts, because Montreal has been dictating the tempo and flow of this football game offensively. Kevin Glenn's been picking them apart, using his experience in his only second game, signal calling for the Montreal Alouettes.
Now Glenn looking towards the end zone, drops it off short, and the pass is dropped by Cunningham.
Can't stand good fortune. Don't be scared of success. You make a one-handed catch, spectacular catch. This is a great check down by Glenn. He's looking deep to shallow, checks it down. He just turns his eyes upfield before he secures the football. Kevin see him look deep. Now he's checking down. Doesn't get any reciprocation or love from 85 this time.
So a short field goal try for Boris Beatty. And the Alouettes open the second half like they ended the first with 3, and now a 28-2 lead. Only the 4th time this year the Alouettes have scored more than 25 points in a game. The rise of the Villains is heating up. All new Gotham, followed by Blind Spot Monday at 8/7 Central on CTV.
You're such a chicken.
What?
You should have read that like he practiced.
Like the movie guy?
Yeah.
The rise of the Villains is heating up.
Yes. Yes. So much better that way.
First down Toronto from the Argo 35-yard line, down 28-2. Harris has some time, swings it up for Whitaker. Brandon Whitaker juggles to hang on. They get the first down to the 48-yard line. This weekend, by the way, the Argonaut players will get a tour of their new facility at BMO Field in Toronto. Get a look at what the renovations have done and where they'll be playing their home games next year. Guaranteed to play their home games. And the most interesting part of it, on a grass field.
Ooh, old school.
Old school, grass field, yeah.
Mutters.
No more field turf?
I love playing on the grass. I love the smell of it, and it just, to me, is the essence of football. Kind of get your mind right. I miss playing on the grass.
Harris up and throwing, and the pass is complete. Galander makes the grab.
Just
That is third grab up to the 43-yard line of the Alouettes. A first down after a gain of 19.
That was no dump down either. That was no check down out of the backfield. He's running a nice route here. And he's running a nice intermediate cut there.
Steph, our camera person got bowled over. Stephanie, you all right?
She's good.
She hung in there, took a shot.
From Galanders, no doubt.
Now Whitaker on the first down carry, gets inside the 40.
That should have been a no gain there, but Whitaker, well, he is slippery, and he explodes right in front of the defender and picks up for there, putting it a second and manageable. Brandon Whitaker, I think, having a really nice night, catching the ball and running the football for Toronto Argonauts. And they're feeding the football here in the third quarter, trying to take some pressure off of that offensive line, let them go hit somebody as opposed to trying to be perfect with all the stunts that Montreal's been throwing at him.
There's an Alouette shaking up on the play. It's the veteran Gerald Brown. He takes a knee, and we'll take a quick timeout. 6:24 to go in the third quarter. Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN. Back after this.
Gerald Brown, 7-year player from Glenville State. Kind of gets banged up. My partner said, here he is right here, number 39. And he's in the mix a bit. He's kind of on the perimeter, but right here, I think that's where the damage happens. And then he just says, I need a breather. Why not?
2nd and 6 for the Argos from the Alouettes 39-yard line. Harris is under pressure, got away from Bowman, but can't do it the second time. Cash, Napton, and Bowman all in on the Argo quarterback. And again, Matt, you've made the point, the right side of this Toronto offensive line is making its CFL debut. Fofanoti and Rashad Johnson.
Yeah, but this is going to happen going on the left side. Is Bowman's going to run a little twist here with down on Michael Cash, and he comes free. Watch it happen on the right side. Bang! Here he comes, just a free shot. And then it's napped it coming off the ends the other way. On a redirect.
His first try from 52 yards out. Dave Stall's the holder, and this is way short. This lands at the 7. Logan takes it back to the 24-yard line, so Rogers' first try comes up well short. The Alouettes have the lead, the ball, and everything going their way. The sack tally brought to you by Purelator, tackling hunger, a promise we can all help deliver. Montreal now tied for the league lead with 46 sacks on the year, 5 tonight rather. Toronto in the middle of the pack there, but this has been a fiesta for Montreal tonight.
It's just dominance up front, just taking advantage of the patchwork offensive line for the Toronto Argonauts and John Bowman. They're just twisting, and when I say you don't play all the men, and what twists do, it enables defensive linemen just to turn offensive linemen, big 330-pounder shoulders, and when you turn their shoulders, you have a better chance at winning as opposed to playing their whole body. And Montreal's been doing a nice job of playing the twist game up front, putting pressure on Trevor Harris.
First down Alouettes to their 24-yard line. The give goes to Rutley. And Brandon Rutley.
I like the combination Sutton and Rutley. These guys are spelling each other, and when they get a chance to run the football, man, they just absolutely are running with a purpose and a mean on and bringing some heavy leather when they arrive on contact. And Brandon Rutley has been running mad all night along with Sutton. We saw what he did to Jermaine Gabriel in the first half.
Gain was 7 on the play, 2nd and 3. And now Sutton reels off another 7, and there's an Alouette first down.
That's impressive. That's just at will, getting the job done up front. Offensive linemen love this aspect of the game when they can start eating like that and getting after the defensive lineman and firing out as opposed to pass blocking. They love it.
That's the 19th first down of the football game for the Alouettes, the 9 for the Argos. Now fired out here. And B.J. Cunningham gets up to the 50-yard line, gain of 14 yards, another first down.
We know he's got the hands. I mean, watch these pretty hands here. We saw him do a one-hander. When he keeps, Milt Stegall talks about it all the time, and any receiver tell you catch the ball with your eyes. And here, boy, he catches it with his eyes, sees it in, and then turns it up. A little anomaly there in that drop pass in the last drive.
20th first down for the Alouettes, who only had 15 in the game last week against Hamilton. Back to the ground. Sutton has some room. Puts his head down again, runs over Jefferson. And gets 12 down to the 48-yard line.
They're blocking dummies out there. They're just trucking the would-be tacklers.
Sutton shaking up on the play.
He just lowers his shoulder pads and just trucks over A.J. Jefferson and then runs by Gabriel. This is impressive running and blocking. That is.
Now Sutton remains down.
Sometimes you the hammer, sometimes you the nail, and for the most part, Rutley and Sutton have been doing the hammering tonight.
Of course, Brandon Whitaker used to perform that role for the Alouettes. And Sutton's slow to get to his feet, but Terrell Sutton came in to the game number 3 in rushing in the Canadian Football League behind Andrew Harris and Jerome Messam.
Yeah, it's pretty decent rushing race we got going on. Nobody's really going off on the ground this year, throwing the football over the yard.
First down, Alouettes from the Toronto 49. Glenn throws, and the pass is caught by Fred Stamps. Down to the 25-yard line. They'll mark him at the 26. Another circus grab by Fred Stamps, and the gain is 23.
Yeah, it's a seam route. Kevin Glenn's got to get rid of it. Otherwise, the free safety's going to have a chance to overlap. And watch Kevin Glenn stick this ball in there. Just knows he's got to throw the heater, and he does. Otherwise, Gabriel's going to be there. And just a beautiful play by the veteran Fred Stamps, who's got 5 1,000-yard receiving seasons in his books.
Now they try Cunningham again, but he's wrapped up very quickly there by Travis Hawkins. That'll be a loss of 3 yards. The Alouettes have not had many second and longs tonight, unlike the 15 they had last week against Hamilton.
Yeah, they've been firing the football over the yard. Kevin Glenn's been feeling it. He feels a lot more comfortable. Why not? You're surrounded by the veterans all over the place. And Fred Stamps, S.J. Green, and Nick Lewis. And look at these stats. I mean, 12 seasons, 9-9. And look at these. That's pretty impressive. 18 1,000-yard seasons by that big three of the Montreal Alouettes.
Now Glenn under pressure. Flag comes down, and Glenn goes down as well, as he's tracked down by Ricky Foley. Now, what's the penalty?
Major foul, face mask, Montreal number 59. 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play. Third down.
Josh Bork.
Josh Bork just can't believe his hands. He threw his hands up in the air like he just doesn't care. And he's right here. There's the big man. He's a good one, too. Moves his feet well there. Little stunt by Foley and Cleon Lang. And they get a little pressure of their own finally. Right on the other side, misses the sheer sack, and Foley gets him at the end.
Good tug on the face mask. And now the Alouettes will have to punt. Beatty drops it inside the 20. And Owens lets it roll. Flag comes down. That'll be the 5-yard no yards for the ball hitting the ground. A 48-yard punt, though, by Beatty. And the Argos will be hemmed in here. Let's go to Matthew Shinetti.
Quick update, guys, on Gerald Brown. The Owls took his helmet away, and he's currently sitting on the sidelines with a coat on. And although the Alouettes looked at Terrell Sutton's lower back, he keeps his helmet on, and the training staff are just leaving him alone, guys.
All right, so the Argonauts will scrimmage. 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line, including their opening possession of the game, Matt. The Argonauts have had 31 drives this year start inside their 20-yard line. They've scored 1 touchdown. The league average, about 7% of the time, you'll score a TD when you start a drive inside your 20.
Yeah, your mindset just changes when you're backed up there. And Ricky Ray,
look at this.
That's a big change of mindset right there.
His first snap of the year. Gives it off to Whitaker. So Ricky Ray, off-season shoulder surgery, on the roster for the last 4 weeks, but did not play, has come back into the lineup for the Toronto Argonauts.
Down 28-2 with a patchwork offensive line. I hope for the best for this guy, and I would expect Brendan Whitaker to get the ball a lot here in the 4th quarter. But obviously Milinovic coming out, going to give Trevor the 3rd quarter, and if it doesn't get any better, he's going to put in Ricky Ray. But boy, he's putting him in harm's way if he's not 100%.
Been nearly a year since Ricky Ray has played. Now throws underneath, and the pass is caught by Elliott. Elliott's off and running and up to the 35-yard line for a Toronto first down.
And this is what Ricky Ray does, and he does it almost effortlessly. People in his face, people are coming at him, they're bringing pressure. Now, this is the pressure that Trevor Harris was faced with. You see stunts up front, you got a guy coming free, but Ray knows where his check down is, believes in it, feeds it to 13, and he does the rest.
A fascinating decision by Coach Scott Milanovich. John Bowman shaken up. That may be a contact lens issue.
Let's hope it is. That's all it is. Yeah, this is yeah, he gets a big paw on his face. You know, from Bruce Campbell. Top of the screen right here. Watch this and watch his hand as it goes right up underneath Bowman's face mask. There it is.
Ooh, that's more than a contact lens issue.
That's a big mitt. That's like a, yeah, he's finger in the eye. Larry Curly and Moe action right there.
First down, Argonauts from their 35-yard line. And the give to Whitaker. Brandon Whitaker out to the 43-yard line, a gain of 8. And that'll be the end of the third quarter. So the Toronto Argonauts down by 26. Turn to their ace, Ricky Ray, here in the fourth quarter. Coming up, as the Alouettes have a 28-2 lead on Wednesday, Friday Night Football. Back here in Hamilton, the numbers through 3 quarters, 23 first downs for the Alouettes to 10 for the Toronto Argonauts. 5 quarterback sacks by the Alouettes through 3 quarters of play. John Bowman has 3 of them. So that kind of performance begs the question, Matt, what do you think of Scott Milanovich's decision to put Ricky Ray in the football game for his first appearance of the year?
I got 2 names for you. Fo Finoti and Rashad Johnson. Right side of that offensive line for the Toronto Argonauts is a big concern for me, putting a $500,000 quarterback in there with 15 minutes to play, down 26. And I know it's important for him to get out there and get some reps, but I think this ball game's a bit out of hand. I know they say you never know in the CFL, but really, I think we're going to continue to see a lot of Brandon Whitaker play and carry the football to take some pressure.
And Whitaker should have a first down there as he gets out to the 45-yard line. So Ricky Ray last played in the CFL against the Alouettes November the 2nd. Got stepped on.
That doesn't feel good.
Then got thrown down by John Bowman. Suffered a concussion. The longer-term issue for Ray was his shoulder, which underwent off-season reconstruction. It's been slow to heal.
Yeah, and it's no disrespect to the right guard and the right tackle of the Toronto Argonauts. They just haven't played. It's the right tackle's first game.
First down, play fake by Ray. Screens it underneath for Coombs. And Coombs gets shoestringed on the play by Billy Parker. And it'll be 2nd and long after a loss of a yard.
I'd be real surprised if Ricky Ray is able to mount attack against this Montreal defense and where they're playing tonight. I just concerned for his safety. And Noel Thorpe, defensive coordinator, has just got his boys riled up in a must-win situation for his football team. And they're loving life here at Tim Hortons Field. Already 2-0 at this ballpark.
Ray throws, Coombs the catch, but again, not much of a gain on the play. Thrown out of bounds by Nicholas Boulet. The gain is 2. That'll get them back to the original line of scrimmage, but the Argonauts will have to punt. But we've not seen Ray throw the ball up the field much. And of course, the question for Ricky Ray, Matt, will be, can he throw the deep ball? He may have one of the best deep balls in the history of the Canadian Football League. It's his prime weapon.
Most accurate deep ball.
Right.
Throw that in front of there because, you know, he doesn't have a strong arm. He's got an accurate deep ball, just ability, and like none I've ever seen in his 13 years in the CFL. That is a big question because it's a big part of his game.
Steph Logan on the kick return after just a 29-yard punt. S.J. Green with a 1,000-yard man again, and his Alouettes have some life. They need wins and some West Division losses for the CFL playoff. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. Gord Miller, Matt Dunnigan, Matthew Shinetti, our TSN production crew here in Hamilton. Another Toronto Argonaut home game being played on the road. Their 4th this year. They're scheduled to play their next 2 at home against BC and Winnipeg, but that remains undecided. First down, Alouettes. And Kevin Glenn swings it up for Green, and S.J. Green out across the 40, still going. Gets 8 out to the 42-yard line.
Brandon Isaac looked like he's down.
And Brandon Isaac
he was in hot pursuit. Looks like he got blocked at the end of the play there at a weird angle. And
they're calling for medical attention right away. The Alouettes are actually the ones indicating right away that Isaac was in some trouble. .12:46 to play in the 4th quarter.
Now it was A.J. Harris who got blocked in an awkward fashion towards the end of that play, but Isaac actually got a hand in on S.J. Green as he was trying to turn it up and kind of got slung off with S.J.'s momentum and landed funny. He's already been out for there's the block on Jefferson, and he's down, and then there's the kind of whipping effect, and he kind of falls into Stamps, and he goes down awkwardly. Let's hope it's not anything serious.
So Isaac slowly getting to his feet and making his way to the Argo sideline. Mark, the gain is 9 on the play. It's 2nd and 1 now for the Alouettes. And Tanner Marsh comes in with a short yardage offense for the Alouettes.
But it's good to see B.I. Brandon Isaac walk off the field on his own power. Big part of that Toronto defense who struggled here tonight.
And Marsh dives close to the 45-yard line and moves the sticks for the Alouettes. What a story for Montreal this year to have 7 different quarterbacks throw passes for them, 4 different starters.
It's just insane.
Lost 2 quarterbacks in their opening game of the year.
That was crazy. We got to see Brandon Bridge playing that ball game unexpectedly. Hadn't seen him since. I thought he showed a lot of promise, but look at that. Rakeem Cato, he's been up and down. Tanner Marsh got to start. Kevin Glenn has flipped the script from last week to this week.
We'll give up to Rutley. Brandon Rutley off and running into the defensive backfield, and finally they close out of the 15-yard line. But Brandon Rutley reels off another big run for the Montreal Alouettes, who are grinding it on the ground. That's a 41-yard gain.
Oh, I absolutely love this scheme. And they're gonna crack and kick out here. Little trap, off the edge, and this is beautiful. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Big hole there, and Rutley's just trucking down the field. All kinds of green in front of him.
First down now for the Toronto 15-yard line. Rutley again. Gets down to the 7-yard line. Tackled there by Cleon Lang. Another big gain, that's 8. Alouettes have rushed for over 100 yards tonight.
They're just piling and just gouging the middle of the defense here. That's a nice job by Nick Lewis getting the act here. He kind of can be classified as an offensive lineman these days.
Brandon Isaac back in the game for Toronto.
It's good to see him back out there so quickly. Just a little shaken up a couple plays ago.
Short yardage offense is back in, and Marsh goes back over the top again.
Arkansas Tech.
Yeah, 1st and goal now inside the 5-yard line for the Alouettes, who began this game with a very impressive drive and haven't looked back.
No, they haven't. They've been doing this pretty much the entire football game. Long drives, sustaining drives. Being efficient on 1st and 10, which is critical for any offense in this league to have success, and putting themselves in a lot of second and manageable situations. See the bow weevil doing a lot of sneaks right now.
Look at that, 26 of 34 for Kevin Glenn, approaching 300 yards and 2 touchdowns.
How about that for a bounce-back game? Fixing to add to it right here. There it is.
There it is. Brandon Rutley walks in for the touchdown. touchdown.
That's just dominance.
And the Alouettes lead 34-2 with the point after to come. And underestimating Kevin Glenn has turned out to be a losing proposition in the Canadian Football League for 14 years now.
Yeah, he's been pretty special just about everywhere he's been. Some years better than others, but any quarterback can say that. And Rutley just says thank you. He got him down there close, and he gets to seal the deal here. Nice little ISO fake, release the back of the flat. A couple more F-bombs for you.
Puts it through 35-2. Oh, he missed it, pardon me. 34-2. The Alouettes now lead. He thought he made it. Kevin Glenn, another touchdown pass. And the Montreal Alouettes still battling for a playoff spot, but in the West. Brandon Rutley on the end of another impressive Montreal Alouettes scoring drive. And Montreal has owned the football tonight, has put together long scoring drives, and has a 34-2 lead. Their season high for points, 35 against Winnipeg about a month ago. Chad Owens takes it his 5-yard line. They took to the 27, lost the football, but they ruled him down by contact.
Yeah, this touchdown drive, you can just go ahead and say that this was all Brandon Rutley, but a lot of help from that offensive line starting with this play right here. 41 gallop into a gaping hole, and then he rips off a big chunk. And then here once again, Nick Lewis, nice block coming off the edge. A little point fake, Rutley. Little fake fly and then dips it back out. Wide open for walk-in touchdown. Third of the night for Kevin Glenn.
Jim Pop's going to challenge that Owens was down by contact. He thinks it's a fumble. The Alouettes did recover the ball.
Montreal is challenging the ruling on the field that the ball carrier was down with contact. The play will be reviewed.
I thought I heard an early whistle for it as soon as that ball was out, and not a lot of play there, but
let's see if he's... So is his knee down before it comes out is the question.
It's a good look at it, that's for sure.
His knee is down right there. Is the ball coming out?
Can't see the ball at that point. This would be maybe this will be a better angle. This is a good shot. Ball's good there. Knees down. Yeah. The ball.
That's going to be another unsuccessful challenge, I think, for Montreal. Is that what you're calling, Matt?
Yeah, that is.
You're calling it?
Play will stand on the field.
Okay.
Jim Pop's going to be out of luck here.
So the Alouettes are in Edmonton next week, then home to Saskatchewan.
34-2. I'm just trying to figure out why he would do that in that situation. 9:04 on the clock.
Might as well challenge.
Yeah. Play to win.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball carrier was down with contact prior to losing possession of the football. Montreal will be charged a timeout.
There's no way! That's terrible! Wow!
No. I mean,
isn't he on the competition committee?
No, but everybody's in agreement on the sidelines, and they're pretty sour for a 32-point lead.
Yeah.
That just shows you how much these coaches are in this ball game.
I think he's on the rules committee, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
First down, Ray throws to Hazleton. And Hazleton close to a first down at the 38-yard line. So, again, to restate the situation for the Montreal Alouettes, they're 5-10 on the year. They cannot make the playoffs in the East Division. Their only hope is to be the crossover team in the West. To do that, they've got to finish with a better record than the fourth-place team in the West. Can't tie. They've got to have more points.
That's right. And as it stands now, 19 straight years in the playoffs, looking for the 20th, keep that streak alive. If they win out, they're in. If they win one, going to need, or tonight, which looks like they're going to, they're going to need some help from Winnipeg and BC, and they're going to have to lose out.
So Saskatchewan is out. They're the 5th place team in the West. The Alouettes would have to catch either BC or Winnipeg by having more points than they do. Montreal's in Edmonton next week. That's a tough one. Then home to Saskatchewan.
And when guys are playing for their jobs, it's never an easy out.
By the way, this 19 consecutive years in the playoffs, the second longest streak in CFL history. The Edmonton Eskimos once made the playoffs 34 years in a row. A streak that ended in 2005.
Oh, and I remember the crowd and my stomach turned over when they didn't make the playoffs, because I'm a part of that, and there's a lot of players who were a part of that, and you take pride in that. When they didn't make the playoffs, it was like the fans across the country, Edmonton fans and ex-Eskimo players, were all part of it. Certainly Kavis was part of that.
Former head coach of the Eskimos. 3rd and short now. And again, Rogers comes on to punt. Jake Rogers making his CFL debut tonight.
It hasn't been a very impressive one.
Logan gets a block on the corner, and Stefan Logan up to the 38-yard line. Just a 38-yard punt. So with under 7 to go here in the 4th quarter, the first game of our doubleheader, as the Alouettes up by 32. Major League Soccer on TSN continues Sunday with Decision Day. Montreal battles Toronto FC. Catch it at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on TSN 4 and 5. It's the final day of the regular season, and every MLS team will be in action as they battle for playoff berths and positioning. And the playoff picture in the West is the one to be decided as we see Anthony Boone come in. Former Duke Blue Devil began his career 10-0 as a starter, the first Duke quarterback to do that. Boone's seen some limited action this year for the Alouettes. One of 7 quarterbacks to throw a pass for them. And does a wise thing, give it off to Brandon Rutley.
Reminds me kind of like Tracy Ham's stature. Thick lower half. Tracy, Hall of Famer, running the ham bone down at Georgia Southern. Far different offense that Ham was running at Georgia Southern than he was running at Duke.
Quarterbacks don't run nearly like they did when Damon Allen, Tracy Ham, yourself were having those big rushing years. Damon Allen, of course, rushed for 1,000 yards in one season as a quarterback.
He did it twice. Tracy, I think. And then Tracy.
Ham did it as well, yeah.
Ken Hobart was close to that back in the day. He was a beast.
And Cleon Lang shaking up for the Argos. So the question now for Toronto is going to be, with first place sinking out of the sights of the team in the East Division.
They're trying to hang on for second now.
Now they got to worry a little bit about second.
Ottawa had the identical record before tonight's ball game at 9-6, but Toronto had the series season in hand because they beat them 3 times, and I think that's huge. But
so tied at 9-6. So the Argos trying to at least secure a home playoff date.
Yeah, they've had the Red Blacks number this year, Toronto has, but that could be all for naught if Ottawa can get a victory. Leapfrog ahead of them, go 10-6.
BC and Hamilton playing tonight in a critical game for those 2 teams. The second half of our doubleheader coming up. 6 to go here in the 4th quarter. And Boone throws, and the pass incomplete for Nick Lewis. That'll bring up 3rd down for the Alouettes.
And I like this move here, getting the young quarterback some time. Game's out of hand with just under 6 minutes to play, and get Anthony some quality reps here. On the other hand, I got a different feel when Reid steps on the field, because he's not 100%. You know that. We haven't seen him push the ball down the field, and Montreal has been so dominant defensively. But I know he's got to play and get some of the kinks out.
Ball bounces in front of Chad Owens. There'll be some no yards tacked on to the end of that. So this is the first half of our doubleheader. And coming up, it's the Ticats and the Lions. Next from the stadium at BC Place, Simone Lawrence and Andrew Harris going toe-to-toe in that one. As we mentioned earlier, Toronto hoping for a Hamilton loss and Montreal hoping BC falls. Kerry Joseph also rushed for 1,000 yards in a season as a quarterback.
That's right. Was that his Grey Cup winning year too?
2005.
Yeah.
Well, he did with Ottawa.
Oh, he did with Ottawa.
So Hampton is twice, Allen and Joseph. There's the answer to your question. Ray throws a pass incomplete for Coombs. So who starts next week, Matt?
Oh, man.
Let's start that fire.
Scott Milinovich got a new contract along with Jim Barker. Let them figure that out.
No. You signed a new contract too. You got to answer the question.
No.
You have to answer the question.
Yeah, well, if Ricky's healthy, I think you go with.
Who would you start?
You know, I talking to Scott yesterday. I'm not going to give you his answers, but I know what he said.
Ooh. Second and long, Ray throws. This time Coombs does make the catch. We have the tackle, but a first down for the Argonauts. 34-2 is your score. The Argonauts got thumped pretty good here last week by the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, Ray knows where he's going with the football already before he gets this shotgun snap, and he just keeps his eyes down the middle of the football field and then checks it down. Trevor Harris has struggled here the last couple of ball games, and the young quarterback has got a bright future, just going through some rough waters right now.
By the way, Tim Hortons Field, a nightmare for the Argos, who are 0-4 in this stadium coming in, looking to drop to 0-5.
Yeah, that's including the playoff game last year. The Labor Day game last year, and then 3 losses this year and tonight.
Yep.
That's not a good situation. They'll be happy to welcome BMO Field into the mix next year.
This is Lem.
3.5 to go.
I talked to McPherson's in a short yardage situation. I talked to Trevor Harris yesterday. He flat out asked me, Matt, how do you do it? You know, how do you bounce back from a tough performance? You know, I said, hey, look, I threw 211 interceptions as a pro. I have got plenty of experience of bouncing back and digging my way out of holes that I've made for myself and my teammates. I said, you got to trust yourself. You put in the work. You've done the time. You've grinded out in the video room, and you got to trust your eyes and pull the trigger. And your demeanor, all your actions, everybody's looking at you. And he said one thing to me that stuck out. He said, in the quarterback commandments, he says, be the same quarterback every day. That's what he was taught. And I said, that's all you got to do, son. You got to go out there and be the same quarterback, win or lose. Apply your trade, trust the process, trust your eyes and pull the trigger. He just faced a tough defense tonight in Montreal. They've made a lot of quarterbacks look pretty average this year.
And there isn't a quarterback who played in the league, yourself included, who didn't, at least at one point, question whether or not he belonged in the league. Ricky Ray did at times, Anthony Calvillo did at times. It happens to everyone, right?
I don't know if they ever take it that far, but there are times when you may have a little self-doubt, but you can never let anybody know that. You know, you just got to dig deep and find a way to get back into a rhythm and a groove, and believe me, that's trusting the process.
All right, the 3-minute warning has arrived, and the Montreal Alouettes trying for another sprint down the stretch. Made the playoffs last year doing it. Can they do it again this year? Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt. It's back, but only at Wendy's. Now that's better.
Nicely done, Gord.
So we got 2:44 to go here in the fourth quarter. And the Alouettes have turned in one of their best defensive performances, not just this season, but in years.
Yeah, and shut down an offense. It's been really productive. That's struggling through some tough times right now.
Brandon Whitaker Gets 3 on the play.
And you know, you look at what Kevin Glenn's been able to do in a short period of time, basically in less than a week and a half with his new teammates. He's had tremendous success and turnaround. In fact, he's now won with 6 different teams in the Canadian Football League: Sask, Winnipeg, Hamilton, Calgary, BC, and Montreal.
Not the first time he's done that. Had to go to a new team and adjust. Hamilton takes that pass from Ray.
Have skills and will travel.
Yeah.
Kevin Glenn is a journeyman that usually brings good things to the teams he plays with.
One of the CFL's most productive quarterbacks, top 10 in most categories.
Yeah, he's putting together a tremendous football career. And
got his 250th career touchdown pass tonight.
Looks good on him. You know, I think when he reinvented himself in Calgary and accepted the backup role and then was thrust into it when Drew Tate went down, the way he handled that situation for 2 years really redefined his career.
Ray throws, the pass caught by Elliott, a first down as he gets down to the 31-yard line.
I know a little bit about winning with 6 different teams. And it's and you take the mindset when you go from team to team just to go out there and be the same quarterback you were with Edmonton, BC, whatnot, and it's who you are, and you trust your skill set, get to know the players around you, and make it happen.
I'm trying to remember, Matt, did you ever change teams in midseason?
No.
Glenn's done it 3 times now.
That's the opposite.
At least 3 times.
And to have the success that he's had in such a short period of time with an offense is a feather in his cap and testament to his abilities to digest information and assimilate it and regurgitate it so quickly and have success on the field. It's just impressive. Not many quarterbacks can do what that man's been able to do throughout his career, and certainly the last 5 years. Combs down to the 5-yard line. Look at that throw.
Now, Cox makes the tackle. The gain is 22. There was some zip on that.
That's right, Gore. That's what I was getting at. This shows me something about Ricky Ray and where he's at. He's getting close because this is a strike. Stop. That ball's thrown on a rope and spotted perfectly as you get accustomed to seeing it coming out of 1-5's hand, Ricky Ray.
Inside a minute to go.
It's a good sign for the Toronto Argonauts moving forward.
Ricky Ray's 11 of 12 for 109 yards.
Does that surprise you? I mean, this guy, I'm just impressed with Glenn. That guy, Trevor, the way he's handled his adversities.
First and goal from the 5. Ray under pressure, throws for Elliott. And Elliott gets wrapped up by Chip Cox and Nicholas Boulay.
And Ricky Ray pulls himself up off the turf, which is a good sign. His first contact he's had. And this is a telling throw for Ricky Ray because he's got pressure in his face. Watch him come off the edge here, coming right off the edge into his face. Bang, there he is. Now he just slings it. To me, that's a good sign because that is something you really don't practice in practice. Dropping your arm in that slot, putting something on it.
Second and goal. Ray to the end zone for Elliott. Touchdown! Despite the pass interference from Mitchell White, Elliott has the touchdown grab. That's his 4th in his last 4 games. It comes late, but Ricky Ray has his first touchdown catch of the year, assuming it's not offensive pass interference.
Yeah, I can't see it as offensive pass interference. It looked like Mitchell White didn't get the memo about you can't touch a receiver.
The officials are huddling.
Well, that's a concern.
This might go against Toronto.
Wow.
Illegal interference, blocking downfield. Toronto number 21. That penalty's declined. Illegal interference. Toronto number 13. That penalty's applied. It's a 10-yard penalty. Will replay second down.
They got him twice. Hazelton and Elliott. Wow. And Alouettes, well, hang on. We're in the last 3 minutes here. He can't challenge.
No, he can't. I mean, Ray's trying to throw his patented corner route, but I don't see where there's a foul there by Elliott.
So Milanovic throws the challenge flag.
Oh, right there, he's got his hand in his face mask. Oh, and he put, down, there's a foul. That should be offensive pass interference. Yeah, it was pretty clear. Hazelton had his right hand.
Challenging the ruling on the field. They believe there was defensive pass interference on the play. The play will be reviewed.
You can challenge pass interference in the last 3 minutes, of course. That's the first one. So,
well, I clearly saw Hazelton.
Now here's the question, Matt. Let's assume that pass interference is overturned. The Alouettes can still accept the penalty for the block downfield by Hazelton.
Well, I'm looking at Elliott here, and he extends his right arm right there on the face mask and helmet of Mitchell White and creates some separation at the last minute. Now here's Elliott. He's in the inside. He's number 2 receiver, and he just runs over the DB covering him, and you're not allowed to do that.
So either way, the touchdown's not going to stand.
That's correct.
Even if this is overturned, they'll accept the penalty on Hazelton, and that's not reviewable. Illegal contact.
This is one right there that you can see him right there, just push Mitchell right in the. And I think that's illegal. I think that's what he's getting called for. And the inside, watch the inside right here. There's the smash mouth, the Ray Elgard move back in the day.
Which was perfectly legal back then.
That's right.
And encouraged.
I mean, he uses waggle, his 235-pound frame, and just maul people. And DBs were doing it to receivers, and why not do it to DBs? And Hazel gets called for that, and Elliott's getting called for offensive pass interference.
In a 34-2 game.
And it means a lot. It's a 32-point touchdown right there. The armed forces aren't going anywhere.
No, they stay.
After review, there was defensive pass interference, Montreal number 32. But on the play, we also had illegal interference, blocking downfield by Toronto number 13. Both are 10 yards penalty. We'll replay the down at the 6-yard line. Still second down.
No. What? Whatever happened to no harm, no foul? I don't know.
There's 2 fouls.
I don't know.
Okay, so here we go.
Ricky Ray gets another crack at it.
Bottom line, that never happened.
And Mitchell White got called for defensive pass interference. So they overturned that call on Elliott.
But it gets wiped out by the illegal block.
Guys, I'm right there, okay?
2nd and 6.
Try
it again. Got it. Ray down the goal line, and it's broken up. Terrific defensive play by Billy Parker. Still 2 seconds to go, so a 3rd down play coming up, but Billy Parker takes one away.
I think Ricky Ray misses one in the back of the end zone here, and he checks down. And that's a nice play by Billy Parker. Boy, that's pretty. Got his right hand in there late. Knocked that ball away.
All right, so here you go, the final play of the game. Barring penalty, 13th play of this drive. Trying to find someone, throws to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Broken up by Billy Parker.
That was offensive pass interference there. The flag's thrown.
And so the Montreal Alouettes are still alive, Matt. They can still cross over to the west. And now some pushing and shoving breaks out. Jeff Keeping in the middle of it down there.
Here's the last play. Ricky Ray tries a strong arm in this after he gets pressure. Another twist up front. Nice job by Dupuis. And then there's the offensive PI, which is not called. Billy Parker gets rolled over. And then late after the play, a flag is thrown for, I think, unsportsmanlike conduct in the ball game. Thank goodness.
Alouettes win it 34-2. Improve their record to 6-10 on the year. The Argonauts fall to 9-7.
That got right there.
With a big bounce back. And the Nissan Titan Player of the Game is brought to you by Nissan, the official vehicle of the CFL. It is
Kevin Glenn. Got beat. Bounce back. 3 interceptions last week. Didn't have time to let the ink dry on his new playbook. And boy, he figured it out with just another couple days of practice under his belt. Some extra time spent with the receivers. And he went to work on a predominantly zone defense the Toronto Argonauts deployed tonight. Dissected him, 27-35, almost 300 yards and 3 touchdown passes. That's a Kevin Glenn that they hired as their new gun in Montreal.
all right. 34-2 score here. Let's get you back to Rod Smith.
Thank you, Gordon. There's a look at C.J. Gable, who's missed 11 games with an elbow injury. He's missed most of the season, in fact, for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but back in the lineup tonight. That is coming up part 2 of our Wendy's Friday Night Football doubleheader with the Ticats and the Lions. Rod in the panel, and a big night for the Montreal Alouettes, who are back in the playoff race. In fact, they would, at the moment, depending on what happens with BC, hold down that final playoff spot, I should say. The record is 6-10. Mike, Kevin Glenn, I mean, it seemed to make a real difference to that Alouette team overall, even though this victory isn't just on him, but he certainly had an impressive.
Yeah, he did, Rod, and there's a reason Matty called him the player of the game. When you take a look at it, 77% completion rate, 3 touchdowns, clean football, 294 yards. He was on a mission, and you could see the energy there when he was excited. He was accurate. He did what he had to do, and he made sure he knows where the ball's got to go. He made the throws. Hey, it's professional football. What happened last week's tougher with a man walking into that team last week. This week, much better. Putting the ball where it needs to. Good play calling, keeping things short at times, but he made play after play after play and gave that Alouette team hope. And at the end of the day, they won big, and it starts with the quarterback in the game of football. And today, KG got it done. He's a pro, he's a winner, and got it today.
I'm interested to hear you say that, Benny. Yeah, a defensive coach who talks about quarterbacks being so important to the game of football. And I have to wonder whether or not when your quarterback doesn't play well, if that sort of infuses the rest of the football team. And when I watch the Argos, I can't help but think that. It's 2 games in a row now where I think Trevor Harris, who has taken them to such heights this year in replacement of Ricky Ray, and he just seems off. I can't explain it, but here's a guy who, he took a whole bunch of sacks in this game, just like he did last week, because it looks like he doesn't know where he wants to go with the football. Then when he does try to push the ball down the field, he was turning it over. I mean, yeah, he was 11 for 14, but 102 yards, no touchdowns, and just doesn't look decisive. And I would say the amazing thing about Trevor Harris to date has been that he always seems to know, just like Ricky Ray, he always seems to know where he wants to go with the football before the ball is snapped. It's 2 games in a row now. Yeah. He doesn't seem to have that feel. Yeah. Ricky Ray comes in and does pretty well, 12 of 15, 107 yards. Ricky Ray had more yards and way less football. Well, so I wonder if we're going to see Ricky Ray next week.
I think we should. I think this was an odd game because going into the game, you kind of anticipated that Kevin Glenn would be the quarterback that would struggle. Kevin Glenn was the quarterback in the offense that truly performed. And what happened to Trevor Harris? But there's a bigger picture here. He's got to keep his confidence up. This basically is the second game where he has imploded, and he did not look as he previously looked. There was something absent, and it's up to Scott Milanovich, that whole offense, to figure this out for the young man. Do they play with Ricky Ray for the remainder of the season? I don't see why not. He's a highly paid quarterback that is a great, accurate thrower, and if there's any concerns about health, if you're going to roll the dice, now's the time.
Did we see enough from arm strength? I mean, we were all trying to assess that.
Yeah, I was looking for that all game long because when he got in, it was short throws. Mm-hmm. But then you saw a couple of deeper throws with accuracy and some velocity. So certainly he showed some there.
He completed a dig. Mm-hmm. It was one ball that I thought traveled more than 15 yards down the field. It was probably a 17-yard dig that looked okay. But Ricky Ray's never been a guy with a flamethrower of an arm. So that's not his game necessarily, but he still has to be able to complete the 30-yard post, the seam pass. I haven't seen him do that yet.
And I don't think anybody's seen it other than the guys there. And I think now they're going to have to assess it and take a look at it, because I'm with Chris. I mean, right now, you got to get some momentum going. You got to go into playoffs hot. They know they're in there. How they assess it now, it's up to them.
There's also an absence of emotion, Rod. That's a big issue with the Argonauts.
Bottom line, it's an opportunity for the Alouettes now, especially if the BC Lions can't beat the Tiger Cats tonight. And Hamilton, with a win and this Argo loss, could clinch